All right, so let's go to the town of Leyland with our nice new map. That's all nice and clean. No broken palisade and crazy tower House of Dalavar. And pulling up my OneNote. Okay, so we're going to get to the stuff we didn't get to last game, and then we're going to handle some administrative stuff, and then we'll make decisions here. So, last session, the party killed Fairlie Stormsworn, effectively ending the Cult of Talos' plans and snuffing out one of the major threats of the campaign. Galio Alibrio has stated that that Dalavar's gate is in a standby status, awaiting your final order to complete it and open a portal to the realm of the Ebon Death. The Council of Leyland has asked that you end the threat of the Chimera crew, a group of bandits operating to the south near the Mirror of Dead Men that kind of coincides with some other information you've got about a tower of Iniarv, or Iniarv's tower. And you know how to get there because there's a map that you retrieved from the Death Knight Dreadnought ship Emberlost. Both Breltora Redeye and Marigold Brightshine have left notes with Adabra for you to come see them when you return to town. There are mysteries yet to unfold and several paths to choose from. So we ended last session in the bar. Party HQ. So we'll go there now. You've also got a new guest, Tarbin Tool. He's the halfling bard that you guys took from the ship Emberlost. And thus far you have a pretty good history of taking care of halfling bards.
Yeah. people we bring in our bar they're pretty good for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Offer Azure a drink. See what happens.
Huh?
Yeah. Exactly. Little hair of the dog there.
A little bit, please.
And, yeah.
So we had a couple of items to potentially sell. The Stormsworn fancy plate mail and a +1 mace.
Yes, indeed. Let me pull up my shop Excel spreadsheet. That's how nerdy I am.
Sure.
All right. So you want to sell this +1 plate mail out in out at the cart or the shop stall that
I didn't know it just said fancy plate mail. I didn't know it was +1. Could our cleric use that?
I have +1 already.
Oh.
I got the Mariner +1 and has that water.
I thought you
also.
did. I thought you did say +1.
+1 mace.
Oh, right.
Plate mail you just said was fancy plate mail.
Oh yeah, fancy plate mail. All right.
Yeah.
If we have time, and I'd like to at least examine it in the smithy for a day or so, technically, before we sell it. But that's just mostly role-playing flavor.
Okay. So you want to examine the mace and the plate mail, and what about bone counter? I gave you guys bone counter last time.
Yeah.
Was anybody going to use that?
We're keeping it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good for particularly anybody at this point, but it's cool.
I think it'll come in handy later.
All right. And you decide to stock the bar with your 1,000 gold worth of old Anarian liquors.
Yeah.
And now getting to some out of character kind of admin stuff. Belle, you wanted instinctive pounce. Is that correct?
Correct. And I forgot what I asked, but yes.
Yeah, I have been I have been excessively busy in the last 2 weeks, and I thought I would spend more time with this. Instinctive Pounce. As part of the bonus action you take to enter your rage, you can move up to half your speed.
Be nice for her short legs.
Yeah, yeah. I like it.
So you
I think everybody's gotten a little something from Tasha's for the class additions. So yeah, Instinctive Pounce. And Rain, you asked me about something too. You wanted to switch your fighting style?
Yeah, per Tasha's, if I as fighter, if you hit a level that gives you an ability score increase, on that level you can also switch out a fighting style, and that was just this most recent level a session or two ago for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Especially if you're not getting any use out of a fighting style that you have.
I kind of am, but I only get one attack. I think I'd rather have one armor class for all the attacks against me instead of just 2 damage for a attack. It just makes more sense to me.
What are you switching to? Like the defense
Yeah.
one? Yeah, good call.
Oh, wait. This is the thing that's going to give you more AC?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh.
I forgot how to
Put
switch
your
it.
AC at what, 24 or something?
Yes, that put me at 24.
You
Jesus.
should be in the front.
29 with shield spell.
Oh God.
So on future ability score increases, make sure you throw it into Dex.
Yeah.
You're going to be making a lot of saving throws.
Yeah.
Nah, and why make the saving throw? I can just burn a spell and do absorb elements and all that fun stuff.
Sure.
I forget how I do this now.
I think you should just be able to go back and change it. But while you're messing with that, so you guys also agreed to pay Tarbin Tool 5 gold a night. Every night that he bards, you're going to pay him 5 gold a night.
How much do we make a night on the bar? Does anybody remember?
It's not calculated per night. It's calculated per 10 day.
Okay, I can do the math.
And let's see.
Presumably that goes up when we have a bard playing.
Of course
If it doesn't, then
Well,
screw the bard.
Right.
There we go. All right, so you roll a d20, then you multiply that number by the number you roll on 2d10, and then you roll another d10, multiply that by 10, add it to the first number. This is actually from a book, from a book that's kind of cool. I like it. It's what's it called?
Seems complicated.
Fortresses, Temples, and Strongholds.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
my.
yeah, that's good.
So, and then this equals the profit per every other 10 day.
Every other 10 day. So cut it in half for a 10 day and
Yeah. So if I roll a d20, for example, and then I roll 2d10, so I'm multiplying 11 by 18.
and then 98.
All right, that's 198. Now I roll 1d10, and I multiply that by 10. So I add 40. I add 40 to 198,
238.
and that's every other 10 day. So 238 divided by 20.
Or we could multiply his. I mean, we're paying him 100 per 210 day.
So If we're making 12, that's basically 12 a night. He's getting 5 of it.
Yeah. He needs to up his game.
Yeah. So with the bard, Jim is right. With the bard, the idea is that you're paying him because he nets you more money in the end, right?
Right.
You're not just out of the goodness of your heart giving 50% of your profit to him.
No.
So I'm going to modify that calculation and say the initial D20. With the bard, you get advantage on that D20.
All right. Sounds fair enough.
That should.
So I think that adds something to it without making it extremely broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Everybody, you want to keep him around?
It's better than killing him.
How do you know that? We haven't tried.
We're gonna have a specter board if we
Like
kill
that.
him.
I don't have to pay the specter.
That's true.
Wow. All right.
It's not so
So-
creepy now, is it? Huh.
But you only get to keep him for one day.
Well, somebody's got like raised dead for free. Right?
Yeah. Sure. We'll find various bards.
No, we just raised the same one.
No.
Or if there's like a customer that doesn't tip well,
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
the new entertainment.
He skips out on the tab. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
You dine and dash on the Heroes of Leyland, you're going to end up,
Part of the floor show.
yeah.
One night only. Yeah, all right.
All right. So I think that's everything administratively right now, without introducing anything else that we had to handle. So, as far as the armor and the +1 mace, while I'm looking up this +1 mace, can somebody grab what the cost of plate mail is?
It's pretty expensive. It's like 1,200 or something.
Yeah, regular
my
plate mail is
idea.
12.
Is it really? Wow.
1,200?
That's what we had to
Yeah.
pay for mine, I think. Mine originally.
Yeah.
Plate
Cool.
armor 5E.
Oh, hang on. Got it right here.
1,500 gold pieces.
15, yeah. Damn you.
Wow. All right. So, for the +1 weapon, I will let you sell it for 800. And for the armor, I will let you sell it for 750.
It's even fancy armor.
Yeah, that's true. We'll call it a square thousand because it is
All right,
pretty
so what was
fancy.
What was the first one?
800 for the +1 weapon as
All
a
right,
sale, as a you selling it price.
Okay. Done. It puts us at
Excellent.
2250, so we're close to being able to pay off the last room.
Yeah, and then the real fun starts where I get to try and keep you guys from having every magic item.
Yeah. I'm
So-
not starting the list, but yeah.
Yeah, staff of power for
Yeah, because warlocks carry those.
yeah. All right, so one note here, and I'm going to assume that somehow, some way, before you guys leave for the Mayor of Dead Men or the road, the place on the road where they keep on seeing these Chimera crew, that you guys sell that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a couple of different options here. Beltora, Red Eye, and Marigold Brightshine have left notes with Adabra for you to come see them when you return to town. And you've also got this quest.
Right.
I think we need to
Well,
see
let's-
Marigold
let's-
because she sacrificed a lot for us.
Yeah, Marigold, yeah.
Yeah.
Check her
Yeah.
out. What she need.
You've got to see the notes. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the town map here. And you go to the Shrine of Lathander. It looks a little bit nicer since the last time you were in there. And this particular time that you're in there doesn't have the added trauma of seeing a Glabrezu. And
I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, so she's there, and she has asked to see you, and she, when you finally do see her, she seems in slightly better spirits than she has been. Last couple of times that she's been around, you just notice that she's very down. She's very somber. Ever since kind of overstepping her religious bounds, going outside of what Lathander was willing to give to her as far as the summoning of the demon and the questioning of it. And so she's kind of on the mend. She's recovering, and she seems a little better as far as spirits go. And so she just wants to thank you guys for saving the town. And she said that she only wishes that we could save everyone. And she says, we don't even know who's lost and who's not. We don't get to save everyone ever again because of the ones that were taken that we don't even know where to find them or what to do. And she asks you specifically if you found the realm of the Ebon Death, if that has ever made any sense since her, personal sacrifice to interrogate that Glabrezu.
So we believe we have, but we need to make sure that home is safe first. There's no point in going to save people if we come back and there's no town.
Agreed.
Plus, I'm not sure we want to let her know that we're going to be opening up the main portal thingy anyway.
I was actually thinking she might want to go along.
We'd actually always use a cleric that actually heals.
My guess is they don't want this portal thing turned on. But I could be wrong.
Now, are we going to overstep our authority and have it turned on, even though the whole town says no?
Better to ask forgiveness.
Forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell her we have a pretty good idea. Yes. Just we have to make sure the town is safe. That way, when we come back with them, they have somewhere to come back to.
Okay. And she pulls out this cloth. She pulls out this cloth and opens it up, and in it there is a guard's helmet, a trinket with the initials AS on the bottom.
Anybody?
And oh, right. Yeah, just that. Just those two things. And she says, these are the only two we know of. Other than I believe you still have a harmonica. And
the daggers.
And the black dragon scales that you found. And
yes.
These are the only things that remain of these people. Not even the memories of them. And so she hands them to you. She kind of just hands them over, and she says, 100% definitely save the town. But think about the ones who no one else is as well. And then she kind of skulks off and goes into her personal private chambers of the shrine.
Oh, somebody say something touching and heroic.
Have you considered worshiping a different god? What? No?
She slams the door behind her.
Consider following the true path.
What?
Wow. Anyways,
I'm just saying, I know a lot of stupid shit, and I'm still in good favor with my god. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And
Well,
hell, I
there's
traveled
people-
with Webley. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Webley was trying to mix you up a hangover cure, and I took a picture, but I couldn't freaking post it. It wouldn't show up. I'm out of space on Slack.
I'm just getting way too old for this shit.
Yeah, you are. Fucking-
Doc just wanted to be able to say that to somebody.
Oh,
So, as you leave the Shrine of Lathander, where to next?
The other lady, the fishery lady, right?
Well, Brotora Redeye was the other one that dropped the
yes.
over at the Kiliarity shop.
Half orc runs a curiosity shop. Yes, okay.
Yeah. So as you're on your way to that, you run into Galio Librio. It's one of the very few times that you've seen him out of the tower, and he's walking alongside another wizard. And so not only is it uncommon to see him out of the tower, it's also uncommon to see him accompanied by anybody else. And none of you have ever seen this guy before. And he's an older human man. This other wizard, he has a bright red beard that you kind of get the feeling like maybe how bright his beard is. It has to be like either dyed or magical, considering how old this gentleman is. He's definitely somebody who cares about his appearance. His robes are very fancy, and he's a kind of a showy dude. And Galio spots Fairfax and grabs his companion's arm and kind of leads him over to the party as you guys meet in the road. And he says, yes, Fairfax, I want you to meet a gentleman I've only recently met in the last couple of days. I've been waiting for you to return to town so I can introduce you to him. This is Robillard. And I realized Robillard, R-O-B Illard.
Robo, okay.
You don't recognize that name, Scatter?
I don't.
Yeah. That's an old one.
Should I?
Yeah, you've been playing as long as I have. You should.
Yeah,
I'm not saying anything. I got yelled at last time I said something.
I'm not. Never mind. All right, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After I was like, that's an interesting name, and I was like, I bet I got that from somewhere, and then I realized, yes, I got that from somewhere, and so no relation to the Robillard you might have heard of in the Sword Coast lore.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, and so Galio tells you that Robillard has offered to help him gather the tools and components necessary to really make sure that everything's safe up there at the gate, and that everything's good to go. Other than that.
Well, excellent.
Does anybody get a feel for? What's the general feel of this guy? Is he looking like a normal creepy wizard or an extra creepy wizard?
Given that he's kind of flashy and very stylish with his robes and everything, oftentimes even Galio himself is so just immersed in his work that personal appearance doesn't really take the center stage as far as his priorities go. But this wizard seems to be a little bit more put together. So you can, I mean, if you wanted to know more, you could try to, insight check or anything.
Well, I'll just ask him what's his. I'll just ask him what's what sparked your interest in the gate.
He said, "Oh, I met Galileo at the library, and asked him what he was researching, and it turns out it's something that, not this particular gate, though I have heard of the wizard Thalavar, and the effects of this gate on the town. Myself and Galileo, we agree on the safety aspect of this. That there definitely needs to be a safety aspect. But I've only been in town a few days, and I don't know how long I'll be here. But I arrived with some traveling wizard smiths from Everlund, far to the east. I don't know if you get out that way.
Does
And,
he seem like he's telling the truth? Or
Give me that insight check.
Sure.
Well, we're all there. I'm going to do the same. If you don't mind.
Ignore that. 8.
16.
All right. So Jin, everything he says is spot on. You know that he's not lying about anything. Webley, you get the impression that he's not lying about anything, but there might be more. Not even necessarily a lie by omission, but definitely some omissions.
Yeah. Okay, I get you.
And so Robillard tells you, oh, by the way, if you guys, Galileo tells me that you're always off doing adventures and things like that. If you guys were interested at all, the traveling wizard smiths I came into town with, Ganter and Davin, they're in the square right now selling things, and they got some cool stuff if you're interested. They got some magical items.
Wizard Smith does have my attention.
Yeah.
Sure, we can check him out. Although we don't have a ton of cash on us, but sure.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for the info.
And so they say, hey, next time you come by the tower, or next time you want to stop by the tower, especially if you're ready to, run that test we discussed. And they both kind of look around, making sure nobody hears. Nobody overhears that they're what you guys are up to. And then they stroll off. Unless you guys had anything else to say to them.
No, I was going to ask him if he's going to be in town for a while.
He says yes. He says yes. He says, I'm staying at the fancy room in the Knight's Goblet Inn. It's the one with the balcony that even looks at the House of Thalavar.
Interesting. I'm a little hurt you didn't choose our... Oh, never mind.
You don't have to.
Well, please stop by and we'll buy you a drink.
Yeah, there you go.
He says, absolutely. Do you have any one thing this town is missing is some good performances. Do you have any live music?
Oh, we do.
We do, and we just came upon some great old liquor that you might enjoy.
Oh, where's it from?
A horrible ghost ship.
and he said he just elates with joy, just splendid. I can't wait to try it. And then he says, Galileo, you must come with me. Horrible old ghost ship liquor is my favorite. And Galio just kind of like eyeballs him for a second, like, dude, when have you ever had horrible old ghost ship like her? And you know what? Never mind. And so they say, well, we'll take our leave and go on to the house. Any
Excellent.
objections?
Pleasant meeting you.
Yes, and you as well. And then they run off to the house of Thalavar. You've never seen Galio so chipper. Just kind of excited to work with this other, just deeply knowledgeable wizard. Bless you.
Thank you. I tried meeting there in time. My bad.
So I guess that's Moradin's job. I shouldn't do it.
Nice.
All right. So then I'm assuming you guys go to the peculiarity shop.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in there, you see Corporal Jessup, who's always kind of hanging around when he's not on shift. Those of you who are guards recognize Corporal Jessup as being commonly on shift, and everybody should recognize him as the dude who was lost in the. He was captured down there with the lizard folk.
Yep.
So Corporal Jessup is hanging around, and he's just like, "Oh, hey guys," And Beltora Red Eye, she says to you, I've got this painting that is really old, and I have no idea what it means. And
Okay.
she says, do you think this was important to the previous owner, or what? And she holds up the painting. She kind of sets it on the counter. And there are three people in it. A dark-skinned warrior woman, a red-bearded dwarf, and a third person whose portrait has kind of faded with age. Like it's almost like maybe that part was in the sun, or just however the painting was just rubbed away at that point. And so you can't tell the third person. But yeah, it's kind of it's a triptych painting. I don't know if anybody knows a lot about paintings, but it's like the one with the three different panels side by side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
try.
and
Yeah.
so it's
Okay.
these three portraits, and you guys don't really know much about you. These particular folks never have you've never seen them before. Anybody who's proficient with history can make a history check.
Okay,
What is it? A dwarf, and what's the other one?
A dark-skinned warrior woman, and a red-bearded dwarf, and a third picture who's faded.
Look at you guys.
Well, as you're in Fairfax, you're both proficient with history.
Yep.
Nice. All right. Well, you both got 20s, and that was unexpected.
Unfortunately, the DC was 22.
Yeah. No. It's I actually did set it somewhere. So you get most of the information that I have. The two portraits that you can see kind of spark your memory that you've heard ever since coming to Leyland. You've heard of these adventurers called the Swords of Leyland. That they were the ones who quelled the evil that was pouring out of the House of Thalavar and destroyed the town. And the Swords of Leyland rose up, just defeated the bad guys, shut down the portal, saved the day, all that. And so seeing this picture definitely sparks your memory that these are the Swords of Leyland. Though you can't quite remember who the third one, what they looked like.
How long ago was that?
That
Oh,
was
actually, I don't know anything about this yet, so until they tell me.
Yeah, but you know the history of we've all heard the history of the town.
Right. I mean, if they share the information, yeah, then I would ask.
let's see.
Some time ago.
Yeah. It was a while back. I can get the answer for you. Oh, 200 years ago, the wizard Thalavar made his home here and raised a tower at the town center to conduct his mystical studies. The house at Thalavar was topped with a planar beacon and lured creatures from other planes into the structure, trapping them there. After Thalavar mysteriously disappeared, the people of Leyland were content to leave his tower and the monsters within alone. The Spell Plague, a divine phenomenon that twisted Faerun's magic, corrupted the tower's defenses, and the creatures sealed within were free to attack Leyland. And the magic of the planar beacon was redirected back into the material plane, causing humanoids who looked upon it to become paralyzed. The whole town became paralyzed, and demons were killing them. And so, before its fall, Leyland was defended by a loosely organized group of adventurers called the Swords of Leyland. They died in the battle.
Huh. Wonder where
Are
they
there
were
any
buried.
Are there any markings on the painting, like behind it in the back or around the? Yeah, any markings?
Nothing specific, no.
Yeah, you got me.
Breltora Red Eye's question was more, should I just, should I hang it back up, or, should I sell it?
Well, it's a part of the history. I'm sure somebody would be interested. It look good in the bar. I just don't think we can afford to buy it right now.
So she,
Yeah, if the clerics or if the cleric and dragonborn tell her, hey, those might be some of the swords of Leyland, and it probably has some historical significance, she might just want to hold on to it.
yeah. What do you guys that actually know, Asher and Fairfax? What do you want to tell her?
We would tell her that I would tell her that I recognized it.
Okay.
And who
And
I
you
think,
tell her the history?
yeah, what I know of it.
Okay. And she says, oh man, that's kind of neat historically, and so she's like, I'm gonna make some space and just post it right up here behind my shop counter. That way people could see it, and hopefully they'll ask, and I'll have this unique story to tell.
I'm just wondering how this is all going to come back to bite us in the ass later.
Which has been constant mentions of,
Yeah.
the people who aren't here and forgot, like the demons trying to
Yeah.
go, hey, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Crossed my mind. Well, I don't know.
Well,
I
sorry
think,
we couldn't have been of more help.
yeah.
Well, she said, I knew you guys had been, kind of working in the tower some. I've seen Fairfax over there, and I know you guys are deeply embroiled in this, whatever this is that's been threatening the town. So, I figured if anybody knew anything, I would ask you. And my next step was go to the library, but that's all new books that's getting put in there. So, she appreciates it.
Excellent.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Yeah,
take a
we
look
check-
later on.
Yeah. We go check out what the wizards are offering that we won't be able to afford.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys want to go meet the smiths in the town square?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Gantner and what's his face?
Okay. So you go down to the town square, and Azure, you immediately recognize Zana Tailish kind of waving over at you, and saying, "Hey, what brings you guys down?"
That's the just regular smith in the area, correct?
Yeah, that's the smith that you have a deal with to sell some stuff, and well, the party has a deal with to sell their stuff, anything you make.
I tell her I hear there's some wizard smiths in the area, and always have to look at the competition, I guess.
And she says, "Oh yeah, they're on the other side of the town square. They have a neat little stand over there, and they're only going to be here for a day or two. So I would say they're not so much competition as they are friendly visitors."
It's kind of nice to see a different take on smithy. Like most of my stuff is divine. Let's see what the wizards can do.
Yeah. All right. So she says, "All right. Well, I've got some customers, so go ahead and check them out." And you make your way over to these two very well dressed gentlemen, noticeably well dressed, not from around here, and you even see as part of their sign, they identify themselves as being from Everlund, a very fancy city far to the east down the Tribor Trail. And I can tell you all sorts of information if you want to know it, but they introduce themselves as Gantur and Davin. They kind of get the good feeling of you guys because you show up and you've got decent armor, you've got good weapons, you've got things that they don't really recognize, or maybe they do, and so they identify you as people who probably both have money and an interest in their products, and so they make this elaborate sales pitch. And I'm gonna roll a d20 here. They make a decent sales pitch. It's not anything that's just blowing you away, but it's to the point.
We recognize it's a sales pitch.
Yes, you definitely recognize it as a sales pitch. These guys are not your best friends yet.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So they have. Let's see how this works. Just putting it into chat. I don't know why I put it in two separate messages, but whatever. Those are the goods.
Ring of protection.
No.
No more.
I-
I'd call dibs
I-
on that.
I'm speaking for the GM there. No. Ring of evasion. Does anybody know off the top of your head, or should I look it up?
I think you'd have to look that up.
Ring of evasion. Everybody can type 3 charges, dex saving throw. You can use a reaction to succeed on a saving throw instead if you fail.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
that's like my one weakness that the DM's gonna keep throwing shit at me with.
Oh, God. Nope.
Let me guess, another no from the DM, right?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we don't have
no,
four,
but
we don't have 4,000 gold, so it's not an issue.
Well, we talk them down. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
starting point. You know.
Yeah, it's now 6,000 gold.
Yeah.
Stands out that how many fireball things do we have left for the Fairvax?
We have. Let me check how many beads I have left.
There's only 2 beads on that one. That's what
Right.
they're selling.
Got 4
Yeah.
beads left.
All right, I think we're cool.
So I think we're good with that, I hope, for now. The Ring of Feather Falling would be kind of those prices are kind of high. At least I think they're kind of high. But the Sending Stones and the Ring of Feather Falling could be very handy for certain situations. And the Ring of Protection, yes.
Most
but,
of us can fly.
you know.
Yeah, and I can fall a long way.
Well, that's what I'm saying is those of us, those of us who can fly, already don't have to worry about it. But those who,
Hammerbell has hit
might have the
points. It's
flight spell
okay.
might have a
Hammerbell
certain
has
flight
hit
spell
points.
canceled out from underneath them.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. I
Uh,
actually was playing that through, but
everything
Well-
seems pretty pricey to me, except for the Ring of Protection for Fairfax, since his AC is crap.
What is this AC?
I mean, I definitely need a little bit more defense because I was getting hammered.
okay, so
I
that
think
didn't work.
I think mine's the worst AC in the group right now. So
So
But we
yeah, it's almost by magical means, Webley. You
fail horribly.
you go to just barely, like, it was kind of a joke, you just kind of look at it and move your hand in the general direction of one of these items, and you feel a small shock, and one of them just immediately just snaps his head. He wasn't even looking, and as soon as you feel that shock, he snaps his head over to you, and he says, "Sir, please, if you would like to see anything, let us know."
Who's standing next to me?
He did it.
Yeah, he did.
I think Bell just made himself invisible.
okay. Obviously, there's nothing here that I don't think we can
yeah, we can live without. Can't live without.
we can live without. Yeah, we're close to having enough money to pay off the last room. I say we hold on to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So out of I guess game, since I don't have a character, I did want to give you guys the opportunity to get Sending Stones if you wanted them. Everything else I rolled on a table, and threw it in there.
Yeah.
Did you make
An
up
additional
those
set of
prices?
Sending Stones would be handy.
What was that, Doc?
Where did you get the prices? Was that off the top of your head, or just is that what
No.
comes up in the book?
I have a spreadsheet that I downloaded a while back and kind of adjusted the prices. Originally they were pricier than this.
Really?
And so I adjusted the prices down by 20%. And it's mainly meant for a game that does not use copper, silver, or platinum, and just operates off of gold.
Okay, I follow.
Hopefully, we won't
Yeah,
be. Hopefully, we won't be doing stupid stuff like diving down into a blowhole or something and splitting up party again. So
Yeah, as much fun as that was.
maybe we won't. Maybe the one pair of Sending Stones we have is cool.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
we already have it set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think
have the
we're
one
all right.
set, but that's back with one of them at the party HQ. The idea was for us to have one that we could use if the group got split.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
or we use the party HQ as like the operator to relay.
There you go.
Adabra's over there with 2 sets of stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of each hand. Yeah, answering like phone.
Dispatch, this is Adabra.
Well, yeah, you only get the one use per day anyways. So
Right.
Yeah. Seems expensive for what we have on us. So
Yeah.
is all my, but I don't. It doesn't particularly matter if we really want something.
I want to get the shop built, actually.
All right.
I mean, is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So that is That is all of the administrative stuff and kind of the in-town stuff. I'm going to need a 5-minute break for
Okay.
grabbing another beer, using the bathroom, all that stuff. And so I will see you guys in 5 minutes, and then we will head on our way to places.
Hold music,
Okay.
if you'd be so kind.
Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, that music sucks.
Okay. I have returned. The cleric is back.
Yay!
All right.
Did you see the pic-
PM is also back.
Yay! That's great. Hey, Cleric, did you see the picture I posted?
No.
It's in Discord.
Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, vitamin
I was
B12. Like some Tylenol or something.
Yeah. Huh? Tylenol, B12, shot of vodka, and a cup of coffee.
Huh? I actually did do the cough. I did everything but the shot of vodka, which I really probably should have as well. No, I did do the shot of vodka. Like my mom actually brought me a new bottle of vodka. I did that.
Oh well, that was nice.
Yeah, I told her I was
Something to be said for
hungover.
that
She handed me
whole-
another bottle of vodka. It's like, thank you, Mom. The second one I want to see right now, more alcohol.
Something to be said for that hair of the dog kind of thing. Part of my understanding, my limited understanding of hangovers, because I never get them. That was a lie.
Liar!
Yeah. Yeah, talk to Lottie about that. I still owe her. But the part of the reason you feel so crappy is because your body is craving that alcohol still. Part of it. And giving yourself a shot, if you can take it, of whatever you drank the night before. If you can handle it, like I said, it does help. Helps
To
me.
my knowledge, it had like I thought always with the hair of the dog was it's actually
Yeah.
one reason you feel so dizzy and everything like that is because your equilibrium is off. There's normally water, and then the alcohol dissolves in it, so it throws off your balance and everything.
Yeah.
As it's coming back, and then your
Dehydration
body
and
gets
stuff.
used to that, and it starts coming back down to normal, and you start getting dizzy again because it's changing again. So the shot of the dog is supposed to smooth that process out. The hair of the dog.
Okay.
That was my knowledge. I mean, I could be wrong, but I do appreciate that. That's actually looks some really fancy. Turn it off.
It's the only vodka I had in the house, so yeah. Yeah. I did not actually drink any. I was just posing for the picture, as it were.
I said I did take I didn't have any B12, but I did take the Tylenol,
Yeah.
a little bit of coffee, just because I need to wake up and I drank a shit ton of water.
Yeah. There you go. That's pretty much all you can do, you know.
And stop getting old, stop drinking so much. It was a friend of mine's
That too.
30th birthday, so we were
Aw.
her entire thing was a funeral. We were mourning the death of her youth.
Aw.
So we all dressed in black and did eulogies for her and everything. And got
And
shit
a
Play
later.
shot
your
of-
Viking birthday dirge.
What? Viking birthday dirge?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Let me send you a link to it, or at least one of the examples that I've seen up on YouTube for it. It's pretty amusing.
All right. So,
Is Ben back?
what do you guys want to do now?
Kill
Hit
stuff.
something with the hammer repeatedly. Preferably a follower of a different god.
Well, there are two shrines in town, Lathander and Timora.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, Timora sounds good. Let's do this.
The cleric wants to raid the Timora shrine and kill all followers of other gods. Monk, you on board?
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right. So, what do you guys actually want to do?
Well, got a-
Dead man.
yeah.
Get there in time before dark.
The barbarian has gone there multiple times, so she can
So,
lead us to the lizard camp.
So, do you guys want to go south through the mare like you have previously to get to the lizard folk, and then try to search from there, or would you prefer to go to the road where the merchants were being attacked?
I think the lizard folk would know what's going on in the area.
Yeah.
what was Bill's
Yeah,
last report? Did Bill ask about that? They was only seen zombies that pretty much right?
Yeah, they were seeing like onesies and twosies come around, and it was weird that some zombies were just like haphazardly stumbling upon the camp. It wasn't like a full on attack or anything. So you guys want to head down and go to the lizard folk.
Well, while we're here, okay, if we're going to be fighting potentially zombies and whatever else, is there anything equipment-wise, even mundane stuff, that you guys can think of that we might help us in our,
A cleric.
More liquor?
more liquor, a better cleric?
Whoa.
I kept hearing cleric. Dude, you're the tank. Come on, you do a great job.
I do have turn undead, or whatever it's called now. Holy water, by any chance? We have magical weapons or anything like that? Holy water?
Everybody's got a magic weapon or something. They're a crutch, but we use them. I don't know. Holy water, rope, fire. I don't know.
I mean, I'm all for some
I think
more
we're
than
good.
holy water. That's ale, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I think we're good.
So here's a question: are we able to get to the area? Because what time is it during the day, right now?
It is about midday.
Are we able to get to the area where the merchants were attacked, and then look for clues there, and then make it to the lizard camp by nightfall, and stay the night at the lizard camp?
Let me get you over to the Sword Coast map here.
Look at you.
All right. So actually, so the Mayor of Dead Men is obviously here. The spot on the road is a little bit farther south than this. It's not really put onto the map. So it's deep into the Mayor of Dead Men. When before you guys had come to maybe about Mya and cut in, and this is about where the lizard folk are. This is a little bit farther south and deeper into the mare than you guys have ever gone before, even Hammerbell and Slosh. The lizard folk did have to come from that direction, and of course they lost a lot of folks along the way, and they were, they're diminished population wise right now, but they're working on that. It's almost their egg season.
So here's my only thought: if we're looking for clues, the merchants would be more time sensitive because the lizardmen are going to know something and tell us. We don't have to get there quickly for, like, a clue's not going to vanish from the lizardmen. A clue may vanish from time from the merchants.
Yep. Yeah, if we
Well,
need to
this
write
was-
something.
This was a few days ago. This was a problem anyway. What?
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure how long ago it was.
Today, yeah. I don't know, they might still leave something that we can track.
I mean, is this a recent attack or what's our timeline on this?
It is in the last 10 days. There have been 2 merchants that just haven't shown up at all, and there are several that say that the Chimera crew tried to come and rob them, and then there were some that say the Chimera crew just took part of what they had because they were carrying some pretty heavy stuff, and the crew had no way of transporting it all back. So they just like took some of what they had and sent them on their way, and
Yeah,
tell everybody the Chimera crew kicks ass.
I think that the lizard dudes are gonna maybe have some better lay of the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking lizard.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, we can hang out there for the evening and
Yeah.
eat lizard meat or whatever.
No, we hunt other animals.
Ah, yeah.
You get some scrambled eggs in the morning for breakfast?
Oh,
Sure thing, Grogu.
I was just thinking Shades of Mandalorian there.
I think they have all the armor.
Horses for this trip?
well,
We
What?
will what?
Or do we want to take horses with us? I mean, I have mine. Do you guys want horses?
Do we
They're always a
actually
pain.
own
There's
any?
always a pain in the ass to
Yeah,
keep
it's true.
and
In a swamp? No way.
take care
Yeah.
of.
True.
Oh.
True. Okay, let's
Let's
put
mosey.
the baby in. Yep.
Alrighty. Just give me 1 second. Are you guys going to leave now, or are you going to wait till the morning?
Can we make it there before nightfall?
You would not be able to make it to the. I mean, you'd be able to make it to the lizard folk slightly after nightfall. You know, if you hauled ass, you could make it there before.
Well, we do have.
Fine.
Everybody have dark vision?
Yeah, I think we're covered with that.
Yeah, we're good.
Maybe we could.
Yeah, let's head out.
And
'cause
Jin
we can
rather
stay
be
at
at night anyway, so yes, go ahead and head out.
Yeah, I'd rather be at night anyway.
All right. See here. Sorry, I was messing with something off to the side here. All right, so you guys want to go ahead and head down to the lizard folk camp. So you do so, and
The camp is a graveyard. Everyone's dead.
No.
They're dead, Jim.
That's
head
just-
down.
Look, he still has the map.
Yeah.
You know, I look at that and all I can think of is Warcraft 2.
So obviously I've been meaning to try and find a better, now that they've been here a while, established camp. But at the same time, maybe these guys are kind of more, nomadic in nature, and they just need this spot to lay their eggs at. And
They don't build anything.
yeah, they don't really build much. They don't really need much except what's already there. So you guys arrive in camp, and of course Slosh is very happy to see Hammerbell, and Chief Hussein approaches, and he says, "It is good to see the heroes of Leyland. What do I owe the pleasure of your visit?"
We.
Yeah, Hammerbell's the.
Do you know I can't talk?
So Hammerbell, with her high charisma, steps forward.
Uh-huh.
Could you?
We've heard.
But she gets bonuses
heard
because
this-
she's friends with Slosh.
Yeah, Slosh.
She could talk with Slosh.
Yeah, I mean,
Hammerbell's too busy, petting Slosh behind the ears and whatnot. Rubbing
so
his chin,
Chief Hussein gives up after a moment and turns to the rest of you. Yes, so what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
We've heard that there's some bandit activity that's been causing Leyland some trouble, and we were hoping that you may have some information that would be of use.
Bandits.
guess
Not
they go by-
zombies?
Not zombies. I guess they go by the name of the Chimera
crew?
crew. That doesn't sound familiar.
He says, we do not see these people. All we ever see are zombies. And the occasional rot troll, but Slosh keeps his belly full.
Have the zombies been growing in nature lately, or are they under control?
He says that there are less zombies than usual, but when they come in a very unusual manner. There's only one of them or two of them at most, or they come hours apart, and always covered in. And he searches for the common tongue word for it for a moment, as he kind of gestures with his hands, and you have no idea what he's trying to say, and one of the lizard folk kind of peek around this flail snail and say, "Shit, Chief, it was shit." Ah, yes, shit. From birds, like all over them.
Huh.
Do you happen to have one of these? If you've recently killed one of these zombies, is there a body we can look at?
Unfortunately, no. And he looks over at Slosh, and so do all of you, and Slosh licks his lips.
I turn to the party. My concern is that they're the people that have been, are going along this road and are getting turned into zombies some way by the Chimera people and then wandering off. But maybe that's a stretch.
He says, if you would like, one of our warriors and Slush went southward and followed the tracks further. But we are unwilling to offer the manpower necessary to make a full scouting mission. But Slosh can go with you and at least get you that far.
2 in the
That's a
morning.
start.
I don't know. Do we care about screwing with zombies at this point?
I'm
If
wondering
it helps the lizardmen, yes.
Well, yeah, but now that's kind of secondary to what we originally came for.
what if it winds up being like intermingled somehow? I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean that's. I guess
if there's
if we could find a zombie to see if they're, look like some traitor that's been turned into a zombie, that would be useful.
right.
Yeah.
I want to know why they're covered in.
Yeah.
Actually, I really don't want to know.
Excrement.
Yeah.
Bird guano. Yeah.
Droppings.
Well, Chief, we were hoping that maybe we could camp here for the evening.
You are always welcome to camp. We have special meal prepared for the night. And
Great. We
Poached.
one of the other lizard folk approach upon hearing the chief talk about it, and he holds up this thing that looks like it's kind of a big frog. And this one's still wriggling around, and so much so that his hand that he's having to grip it really tight, and his hand is just just swaying back and forth with the wriggling of this giant frog. And he says, yes, the swamp frogs are in their season as well, which means that the females are pregnant.
You can get
It is quite the delicacy.
Wow.
I hold up the alchemy jug, and well, we brought the wine.
Oops, not what I wanted. Sorry. That's better. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
well, you feel like you're gonna puke, but thanks to the charisma save, you don't let them know that.
Okay. Don't puke on my own shoes this time.
Yeah. All right, so you guys stay for the evening, and you have this wonderful meal prepared by the lizard folk, and give me and Belle does this with advantage. Everybody else other than Webley, give me a Constitution save.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Al dente, frog al dente.
Glad I got the advantage.
All right.
Yeah.
Jin, you, is there something wrong with your meal?
No, it's quite tasty for frog.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But give me that charisma, or give me that charisma check.
Uh,
Does it taste like chicken?
I'm quite good at persuasion, or you just want a straight up charisma?
Yeah, persuasion.
All right. Not quite good, but better.
Yeah. So, so one of the lizard folk do ask you, was yours not cooked well enough? Was there something wrong with the spices? And you, how do you respond to convince this lizard folk that everything's fine?
Oh, well, of course, everything is. It was tasty as ever, and it was just as good as I remember. And yeah, I'm certainly thankful for your hospitality. There was
And
no untruth. There was no untruth there.
yeah, yeah. And the lizard folk is pretty persuaded that you're having a good time. That it's a good meal, and a good meal with allies, and you're having a good time. And is there anything else that anyone wants to do with the lizard folk before going to bed that night?
Just tell war stories. Might be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So there's a campfire, and Hammerbell is sitting next to Slosh, feeding him the leftovers. And the other lizard folk are sitting around the fire, and they ask each one of you individually to tell a glorious story. They always hear each other's stories, and most of them were there for those stories. So this is a rare opportunity for them to hear stories of battle from another from people outside the tribe. And so I don't want you to tell the story, but tell me what story you tell. Starting with Webley.
Oh, cheapers. Well, I begin, by toasting them and thanking them for their wonderful hospitality and not actually trying to eat us for dinner. And then I begin to tell them the story of how I slew the dragon and how the sword is now perched above our bar. And if they ever decide they want to come back, they're more than welcome to come visit us and the sword that slew that terrible dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
now, do you add in the narrative drama of your former thieving teammates being there?
Absolutely, of course, and how they nearly botched the whole operation, and how terrible it was that we actually had to save them as well after they tried to kill us.
Nice. Nice. Azure,
Yeah.
what story do you tell?
I would go to our most recent one, where we flew out of the collapsing light tower, flew onto a ship of the dead, and fought there. That sounds like some Michael Bay shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you.
Well, it's no Karkin, but sure.
So I assume, Jin, that's the story that you tell?
No, I wasn't. I didn't fight the Karkin.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So what story would you tell?
How you spent the night drinking while we were.
Yeah, I'll tell them about the bar fight that I prevented while I spent the night drinking while my buddies were trapped in the some other dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lizard folk are particularly enticed about the idea of if one of them were separated from the other, away from the battle. And that's kind of what they take from it, that your main struggle and that your main hurt during this story, whether you meant to convey this or not, was that you weren't in battle with the rest of your teammates.
There you go.
And so, thusly, you had to find your own battle. And so they all kind of nod at each other, and they find wisdom in your story. So they've been regaled by the stories of the dragon and of the falling lighthouse and the ship of death, and then of the story of personal pain and finding your own battles with Jin. Hammerbell, what do you tell him?
Oh, fighting giant sharks and pulling who was from the mouth of the shark?
The
Was
cleric.
it Webley?
Oh, the
The
shark.
cleric?
Okay.
Shark. I think it was Webley, wasn't it?
If it was
Are
Woodley,
you
would have
talking
left
about
him.
the reanimated shark or the giant sharks when you first got to the realm of?
Yeah, the giant one from when we first got into the water realm.
Yeah. That's
I
right.
remember who somebody was.
Somebody was grabbed by the shark, and Hammerbell yanked him out. Yeah.
I think it was Webley.
Yep.
Okay.
And I show him my souvenir shark tooth. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're particularly interested in these, and they say, "What else do you have?" So they're just in awe of the giant shark tooth. They've never seen such a thing. And what else do you have, Hammerbell? And even Slosh is kind of like nudging her arm, kind of like a dog or a cat would do, kind of like, come on, show us.
Oh, what else did she collect? The spike of some maze.
Right. There's the and the rest of the party was unaware that she even had this. Though Azure, you do recognize it because it's the piece of the mace you had to fix. It's a chipped piece off of Fairlie Stormsworn's mace that includes half a lightning bolt.
Hey, I collect stuff.
Yeah.
Anything from the Karakan?
I did not discuss that. I don't know what please, did I get to keep the tip of the tail of the wyvern?
You did.
Yeah. Did we take the poison out?
Yes.
Okay. That's the only 3 I remember that I asked for.
Okay. Fairvex. Yeah, the crowd goes silent, and all heads turn to you.
I'll tell him about our tale in the. Now, hold on. Hammerbell told the story about the realm of water, right?
Yes.
And the
Shark part.
Yeah, the shark part.
Okay, I'll tell the part about the Kraken, sort of picking up where she left off.
Yes. The junior Kraken, monster of quite a bit of might, and how you. They even ask you. They even ask you if you took any souvenirs or any sort of pieces.
I'll explain that I did take some pieces, like the ink and a couple other pieces that might be useful in alchemy. So the ones that I still have on me, I'll show, because I think I kept a small sample of some of them with me. Sometimes that's useful for bartering, but the majority of it's back with Adabra.
Yep. And Adabra is working on something with those pieces. Matter of fact,
we could tell them about the ghost ship. That was fun.
Well, I thought Rena already told him about the ghost ship. Because
Yeah.
the escape from
Dread-
the tower.
the
that
skeleton
was
ship,
the
not the
boat.
ghost ship.
It's a tower.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the escape from the tower and then onto the ghost ship.
Yeah, but Webb was talking about on her way to the Undershores.
the Thundercliffs.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
With all those
that.
ghosts.
That about killed
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that would be
battle
a-
that almost murdered you all.
Yeah. I don't think we want to revisit that memory right now.
Though I will say that as you guys are reminded of these battles, seeing as how you did come so close to death, you do remember this battle, and none of you bring it up because it's a tough battle to recall. You know, where you really did face your own mortality.
Wait, when?
And
Who's?
on the way.
Yeah, you were fine.
Yeah. And let's see what's going to be the appropriate check here for remembering something about that battle.
I would use insider wisdom.
Yeah, give me an insight. Give me an insight check,
Everybody?
everybody.
Holy shit, guys. There you go. I don't remember squat.
Webley, you remember the Owlips howling. You remember their effect that the howling had.
I'll say,
Oh,
in
yeah.
fairness, Webley was out most of the battle anyway.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
did Bell.
Yeah. Fairfax and Hammerbell, you guys are much the same. You remember the howling. You remember specifically, going down and coming back and winning the battle, and really that fearful. Either depending on who your character is, either fearful of your mortality, or the growing notion that you should accept that this is where you get the good death. Now, for Azure and Jin, you remember that the Owlips weren't just howling incoherently.
Right.
There were a few snippets of recognizable words in the babbling, and that includes 3 phrases. I'll say Azure, you remember one, and that one is the Ebon Death rises but cannot fly. Jin, you remember the other 2. The bronze points the way to the green, and
Yeah.
we know of the ruin stone. That never happens.
I had these written out at one point.
Well, if you wanted to take the notes, here they are.
That's
Okay.
better than me actually typing it out. That works for me. Copy paste.
Yeah. Yep. If there's ever a time I say something, you want me to spell something out or just paste it in there, I might have to do some quick editing so as not to give everything away. But if it's something I've definitely said, then I'm willing to paste it in there. Okay. So Fairfax wraps it up with the tale of the Kraken, the Karken, as it was called, and the lizards all are just so happy about this, and you can hear them as you get up because you gotta be somewhere in the morning. You gotta start getting in on this. You can hear the lizard folk trying to retell the stories that you have told to each other. And they call them specifically Webley's story, or the tale from Azure, or things like that. And so you get a certain feeling of satisfaction knowing that your contributions will forever be part of this tribe's oral history.
This is our immortality right here.
Unless they all die. Oh, sorry.
That foreshadowing
Could this
shit.
be? Could this be the mouse's tail? Yeah, mouse tail. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well, you could almost say it's an American tale.
We're going west, are we? That was horrible.
No. Webley goes west will not be mentioned.
Yeah, the little known fact that Webley's middle name is Fievel.
Webley Fievel Schumacher.
I will kill you.
Oh, man. So as everyone else lays down to go to sleep, you hear Webley. Somewhere.
No, you don't.
I haven't seen that movie in like 25 years, and the fact that I remember that is
Disturbing.
there's probably things that are of use that could be in that space, but instead, no.
That's not terribly disturbing. I mean, there are certain things that just sort of stick with you.
Yep. So you guys wake up the next morning, and what do you want to do?
I say we
We're
look
looking for
go.
zombies.
Yeah, sloshing the zombies.
Zombie hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And that should lead us to the Chimera crew actually as well.
Yep. Well, I acknowledge that I acknowledge what you're doing, not that it'll lead you to the Chimera crew.
Right.
I don't want to make any promises,
No, of course not.
So Slosh and the party. Moving you all down here. Slosh and the party head south. And it doesn't take long before Slosh actually goes towards these spots. And you don't notice any footprints. If you're proficient with survival, give me a check.
Yeah, no.
I think we may have run into this before. Is nobody proficient with survival? Oh, Hammer.
Yeah, I don't.
But not very.
See, our ranger is not proficient with survival.
We have a ranger.
When you multi-class into the ranger, you don't get the extra proficiencies.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so Hammerbell, you notice, and one of the reasons you're able to recognize this so well is that you've seen Slosh do this before. You've seen him do it even the last time that the two of you went south looking for the source of these zombies. Slosh, knowing that his tracking abilities are greatly dependent upon the fact that how old something is, a mark in the ground, a broken twig, things like these blow away, get washed away, all sorts of things. And so what Slosh does is he takes these fading elements and marks them with a big claw scratch. And he kind of makes different claw scratches, and you haven't exactly figured out the language of it yet, but it makes sense to Slosh. And so he goes over to this scratched piece of earth, and he kind of sniffs around it for a second, observes it, and then he looks off to the east and bounds off that way. And Hammerbell, one of the reasons you're able to see this is because the rest of the party is trying to keep up. You're riding Slosh.
Yeah, there's a benefit to that.
Yeah, except for Jin. Jin, you have a lot of speed. Jin is able to keep up and is kind of, I would assume you're kind of halfwaying between Slosh running off and the party, lagging back.
Sure, that sounds good.
And Slosh goes to a few spots, eventually gets to the farthest spot that he had been. And you see a marking on the ground, and the rest of the party catches up. And Slosh kind of nudges you to get off of him, because this is as far as he's willing to go.
Oh, I guess I pat him and thank him and off. No.
All right, and Slosh, as soon as you're done petting him, Slosh, you hear this unnatural growl come from him,
Mm.
and his eyes narrow, and he almost he starts baring his teeth at you, and for a second there you think, oh my god, what's happening to Slosh? And he leaps directly over you, directly over the party, and lands on a zombie
Oh.
and just tears it apart.
Don't eat him, Slosh.
We
Okay.
need
And
to
Slosh
take it out.
stops. He's like halfway through munching on this thing's skull, and he just kind of stops a little bit and looks over at you.
Oh, we just need to check out his wearing
Yeah, don't eat him yet.
Yeah.
yet.
And so he backs off a little gruffishly, almost like, dang it, this is my thing. Why are you guys messing with my
My
thing?
snack.
And he kind of groans and goes over and wraps his long lizard body around a tree and just kind of watches you patiently. Not even watches you, watches the zombie, waiting for a
Sure.
snack. What would you guys like to do?
What's the zombie? Checking out what the zombie's wearing. If it looks like a new zombie, an old zombie, is it have clothes from a peasant on him, or does it have clothes that might be from somebody with some money, a trader or something like that?
This particular zombie looks to be wearing it's a very dirty shirt. Obviously, there's lots of blood on it, dried blood. But the shoulders are kind of flared with some ruffles, and the boots are missing. But you can tell that the pants were made to wear with very high boots, kind of high fancy boots.
Hmm.
And this isn't like a noble as far as like how rich it looks, but it definitely looks like somebody who's maybe a merchant or some sort of traveling, somebody. They have a little bit of money.
Gotcha. Doesn't have any lightning bolts or crosses in its head, does it?
Nothing religious, but it is absolutely like from the shoulders up to the top of the head. It is covered in bird shit.
That is a weird thing.
I almost wonder if these zombies were previously petrified.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of that one.
I see. Right. They're interesting.
I'm guessing the bandits' victims, they took the boots off this guy because they were nice boots. The bandits' victims are getting dumped in wherever they're dumping them. He's turning
Eagle
them into
Pope, maybe?
zombies.
On the shore, seagulls?
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Can we get any of us track where this zombie came from?
I would allow some investigation or survival checks to see, to kind of find the tracks, especially because these ones are fresh.
We'll try survival. Oh, a little better.
Works.
Sweet.
Yeah, and survival checks in this game can only be made by those with
Oh.
proficiency
My
in
bad.
it.
He is proficient.
So Hammerbell, you are able to see where the tracks go. You kind of get a feel for, they're ambling direction. Zombies kind of just meander around, and you get the feeling that this guy was not on a mission. He just kind of
One.
happened to walk upon you.
Yeah, which makes me think they're happening by accident.
Well, yeah, I mean, can we follow it back to follow it as
Yeah.
far back to wherever the hell he came from?
I'll have to give-
You could certainly try.
Yeah,
Okay.
follow it just the best we can. I mean, we don't have any other options here, do we?
No.
We'll eventually find
So-
something, or they'll eventually
Nobody have
attack
any
us.
locate? Does anybody have any locate or scrying or anything like that, or no?
No.
Mm-mm.
I could only.
No.
Not even close.
All right.
Yeah, that's our
Yeah,
best bet.
I got nothing.
All right. So so you guys want to let Slosh have his snack?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can have his snack back.
All
If
right.
Slosh is not going to come with us and sniff this guy out, he can eat him.
All right. Slosh goes ahead and just picks the whole zombie up in his mouth, and you hear the bones crunching as he kind of tracks in the forest back towards the camp. Which, I mean, you guys have been on the trail here for about an hour, hour and a half. You know, it's a little ways back to the camp. But he's kind of taken his time going back, whereas there was a lot of running coming here. So you guys, party wants to head south and track this thing. Hammerbell, you've got a pretty good lead on these tracks, and you find yourself going down towards this compound. Eventually, you guys reach this compound, and it consists of 3 towers. One enormous 80-foot high main tower, connected to 2 smaller 30-foot high towers by walkways. The towers are surrounded by parapets at the top of the walls that create a keep.
They look
Interesting.
occupied.
Atop an escarpment on the eastern side of the high road. This would be west. Thank you. Atop an escarpment far to the west of the high road stands a crumbling keep with 30-foot high walls supported by a gatehouse, 2 short towers, and 1 tall tower, more than twice as tall as the keep's walls. There's a large opening in the north wall where the defenses crumbled long ago.
Well, as soon as we get in sight of this thing, I'm going to pop up pass without trace.
Yeah.
Okay. How long does pass without trace last for?
It's got an hour, I'm pretty sure. Hold on a sec. Think hour.
All right. So I'm gonna put you guys. I'm gonna put you guys on this map, assuming that they can't see you because you're passing without
and-
trace.
And we can't see them. Okay, there we go.
It's very.
Okay.
Yep. I'm working on it, guys. All right. So all of you can see now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And for some reason, I've got to fix that. When I reassigned your tokens to your characters, I had you guys with that specific marker on your token. So every time I place you, you have the marker as if you were flying.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
So I'll move the party around here. So you see this is where the defenses had fallen long ago, but there's a moat, and really there's only one way across. It's over here. So unless, unfortunately the map has some limitations.
No, you're
So-
fine. Okay.
Most of us can go over the moat.
Yeah, most of us could actually probably jump the moat.
Oh, walk on the water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we could try.
So let's get you're past without trace. What is that? What does that give you? +10, right?
Plus 10
Right.
to stealth.
Okay. Well, you do see these scouts up here. So everybody,
Yeah.
give me that good stealth check.
Normal.
Okay.
Normal plus 10,
Plus 10.
unless you're Azure. So
As you,
so our lowest is 14, except for Fairfax. So our lowest is 14.
ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't do stealth.
So one of the scouts on the wall here,
Can I
just shouts out. Unless you'd like to stop me there, Azure.
Actually,
Do you have any?
since we know that I don't stealth because my armor and everything else, why don't I just walk separate from everybody else and act as a decoy? Like, I never
Wear a
stealth.
red uniform and draw all the fire.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm just saying, like, I've
If-
never stealthed well, so
how
sooner or
far-
later we need to actually start just having me walk separate and saying, fuck it.
how far away are they? Are they 30 feet up?
Yeah, they are. Let's see. I said the walls were. Well, the tallest tower is taller than the.
All right. I guess here's my question.
Yeah. 30 feet tall is the walls.
All right. Here's my question. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to burn 2 more key to try to throw a silence up there. I don't think it's going to matter. So yeah, whatever. He can shout whatever the hell he wants.
I'm just waving to
Did you
him.
guys want to separate Azure from you?
It kind of makes sense because I never made a stealth
have
check.
Azure walk up to the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jin, Webley, and I could easily clear the moat, and Hammerbell could walk across the water as long as the moat isn't too, as long as the moat isn't too deep before you get to the water, and it doesn't look like it unless it's really steep there.
Okay. Yeah. The water is not deep. It's difficult terrain. The water's about 5 or 6 feet deep.
Right, but what I'm saying is the surface of the water is like what, 4 or 5 feet below what the compound is built on.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it climbable? Is it the
It is climbable. So would you guys do we want to rewind here kind of and say, all right, Azure's walking up to the front gate. Hammerbell is going to cross the moat here.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, I
and what are they?
think everybody else is going over to the moat.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's no point in me even trying to be stealthy. I think we'd figured that out by now.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right. So let's bring everybody else to the moat. And so you guys successfully passed without trace. And Azure, you walk up to the gate.
Just
And,
smiling, waving.
Say what?
Just smile and wave.
The one of the scouts looks at the other. They both look at you, and they shout backward to the beyond the walls. They say, "Look alive, Chimera!"
Oh.
And you hear some wrestling. Some people kind of shouting at each other, like, "Hey, get the hell up!" And some folks, kind of getting ready to see what the hell this is.
I come to demand your surrender.
Oh shit!
All right, good opening.
Good opening.
Good
you
answer.
gotta be
Good
distracted.
answer. Like Family Feud.
And they say, "Surrender? Surrender to who?"
Me? What the fuck?
And the scout kind of rolls her eyes and says, "Well, yeah, but who are you?"
Oh, hi. I'm Azure.
Azure.
Uh-huh.
And where do you come from, Azure?
Oh.
Who are we surrendering to?
Oh, I'm one of the heroes of Leyland.
They both kind of look at each other, and
Yeah, they don't know us.
and
Are you guys even going to go cross that damn mode or not? I mean, come on, I'm trying to grab their attention.
Yeah, we're going across.
Well, yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting there. Just we want to see this train wreck first.
now you
Oh,
guys
it's the
looking
actual
across the
chimera.
moat here. You guys looking across the moat here, see an actual chimera start walking across,
Oh,
Great.
and
It's daytime, right?
yes.
Right.
Do I have this thing set for daytime?
Yes. Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's not blue, so yes.
And so both of the scouts immediately draw and fire with a kind of speed that you weren't expecting, given that they were kind of,
That's what I was waiting for.
given that they were talking to you. They draw and fire, and as the arrows fire, they're not so concerning because of your high AC and your heavy armor and everything. It's not so concerning as much as the giant chimera that bounds over the gate and lands in front of you.
Sweet.
So let's make some longbow attacks.
Clang, clang.
Yep. Clang, clang. And let's make some. I don't know why this does this. All right. The chimera releases a fire breath in a 15-foot cone. So go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
You got this, or not?
Oh!
Okay.
So let's roll the 7d8. So that is 30 fire damage.
Absorb elements.
That
You
is
gain fire
15
resistance.
fire damage. And you guys are still not seen yet. Let's begin combat.
I'll take the 21.
You said 21.
Mhm.
Oh, damn it. Keep accidentally closing my character sheet.
You know, if one of us actually thought about it, we probably could have sent our owl and our pseudo dragon in to scout first. We would have known there's a fucking chimera.
Yeah, we probably would have.
Oh well.
We should have.
Or-
I mean,
Or we
it's
probably
kind of in the
would know
name.
just by the name of the
Yeah.
group.
Exactly.
I got this, guys. Clear out what's in there.
Sure.
All right. Has everybody got their initiative in here?
Yes.
I see Hammerbell and Webley and Jin and Azure and Fairback. All right. Let's sort by descending. And this first up is this scout here. Oh, all right. I was on the wrong layer. First up is this scout here who simply shouts, and all of you can hear it. Get him, Ash Breath! And kind of laughs to the others.
Ass
You know,
breath.
yeah, that guy's. That
They're talking
guy.
to Webley?
That guy's toast, they say. And they just kind of, they have their bow out and they're ready, but they don't see anybody. Hammerbell, what do you do?
Belle will scramble down and cross. She should be able to make 52, I think, with pounds and rage.
What is your passive wisdom, Hammerbell?
Passive wisdom?
Yep.
Passive
Or your
perception.
passive perception. Sorry.
Perception 13.
Okay. So you said you were going to jump across, right? Before I asked
She's gonna
about passive perception.
she's gonna walk. She's walking across. I mean, she's
Yeah,
scrambling down,
scramble
walking.
down and walk across, and then she should be able to get across, and but she has 50 with a dash. She has 52, I think.
Okay. Go ahead and move across this. The water and climbing up counts as rough terrain.
So that would be half, right?
Yes. So I'm going to say, these two squares are going to cost you 20 instead of 10.
So okay, 20 plus she'll get here, and then 15 more. Let's see, can she make? What's the other one? Nah, she won't be able to reach that then. But she will get close. I think she. What's
Okay.
35 divided by 2? 17, right?
Yep.
So she should make it to this right here. To this square at least.
So which one? That one?
Yeah.
So that's 20. 35, so that's 55. Yeah, I mean, what's your total speed there?
35 plus 17. That's 52.
Oh man, that's just short of it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put you in this square, since you can't make the full motion to there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna waste my rage there.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. Can I just cross then? If I can't make it, I was expecting that's only half, by half speed before, and I can't think 15.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. So not being able to make it, would you rather just stop here?
You
Yeah.
could throw something at him. It counts as an attack.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I could just try to shoot it with my crossbow. Might as well.
All right. So you want to shoot this scout with your crossbow?
Yeah.
That is a hit.
Oh, there you go.
No,
You mean this one, right?
Yeah.
All right. That is 10 piercing damage. She's no longer so confident about Ash Breath and the safety that having such a creature provides.
Rage only applies for melee, or does that apply for the
strength based.
strength? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, she's done then.
Okay. This veteran here is going to 5, 10, 15, 20 rush up. Make a in one hand he's got this long sword, and in the other he's got a short sword.
Oof.
And he's just coming at you just wild. Make sure that advantage toggle, never whisper rolls. Okay. Swipes with the long sword. Swipes with the short sword.
Hit.
And then swipes with the long sword again.
Hit.
All three of those hit?
Yep.
Okay.
24, 12?
So that's 11 and yeah, it'd be 12. 12 slashing damage total. Webley.
Wibbly. All right. So you said the moat's about 4 or 5 feet down and then up?
Yep. It'll take you 20 feet of movement to get across if you're just moving straight across.
Right.
What do you want to do?
That's not a whole lot of anything. But I guess, yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. That was 20 right there?
That
About
was
there?
that was 10.
10.
If you wanted to get up onto this wall, well, we would have to roll for the wall, but that would be 20.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. The wall stands 30 foot high, and there is a check for the walls. Give me a athletics or acrobatics check.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Sorry, 8, I guess.
Yeah,
But-
you try to do that thing where you run up to the wall, you plant your first foot, and you're going to use that to springboard yourself up, and that foot slides, and you slide down into the water there.
Yeah, I had mud on my shoe, so yeah, that didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I'm gonna. If that's my movement, I'm gonna spend my action getting up as much as I can. You know, either I don't know.
I
Probably.
would say you'd be able to make it to the edge of the wall here. Just kind of on the ground, of course, not up and down.
Yeah, and I will do that then.
All right. What is your passive perception?
19.
Okay. Right before you step into this area,
Mm-hmm.
you notice that there is a pit trap dug there.
Oh.
And it's just a tarp covered with a little bit of dirt,
Yeah.
and obviously it's not enough dirt. Hammerbell just ran by it without falling in by luck. You were about to step on it, and you notice the off color of the tarp.
All right. Okay, I stop exactly where I'm at, and give my 2 compatriots behind me a hand signal that, point to the ground, trap, maybe even mouth it to them.
All right.
I
Everyone
think
else
that's all
can
I got.
run by the tarp safely, but thieves can't.
Yeah, apparently not. Hey, I'm not a thief. What are you doing? No, I'm a warlock.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So that's the end of your turn.
Yes.
Okay. It is now Ash Breath. It is Ash, as in Ash, A-S-H. All right.
that's not what I'm calling them.
All right. Let's see. So he's just gonna go nuts on you there, Azure. Ooh, that horn attack. He comes in with the bite, and 20 doesn't hit you, right? Your AC is what, 24 now?
24.
All right. So the bite, he ends up biting around the shield, and then he comes across with the claws. And again, you just kind of spin your back towards him, and the claws just innocently, just unharmingly scrape across the back of your armor. And then he comes in with the horns on that third head, the goat, and just tries to ram you. And you throw that shield in front of you. And give me a athletics check. All right. He rams that shield as hard as he can, and it doesn't do any damage. and you actually hear the horns crack,
Oh, nice.
and he's going to take some damage here.
I have a quick question for you. Can we retcon one thing real quick?
What?
I already have fire resistance. I didn't need to cast a spell.
Where did you get fire resistance?
Forge Cleric. Go to the Forge.
Oh. Very well. All right. You can keep that spell slot then.
Thank you. If not, if not a big deal, it'd give me an extra D6 damage next turn, but But yeah, I would have had resistance anyway.
Yep. That's fine.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Jin.
Yeah. I'll burn a key for the extra. And so this. So if I can clear that on a jump, I'll go like 10 feet and then jump.
Yeah. You straight up crouching tiger, hidden dragon, float through the air, and avoid the pit, as Webley pointed out. Actually, I guess I can go ahead and set that on the token layer. You avoid the pit, as Webley pointed out, and land on the other side. So total, that was, considering that was a good jump, that was 15 feet of movement.
Okay. So just glancing around, do I notice these stairs that go up to like the rampart area, or can I
Yes.
see how to get up to this? How to get up to these guys?
Yeah. You see that there are stairs here and stairs here, and in both cases, it leads up to these towers, and you can walk along the ramparts and get to them.
Okay. There's a lot of people down here. A lot, but all right. I'm just going to make it simple. Sorry. I'm going to get to
You think I use the diamonds?
this guy
What do you think?
and whack him.
What do you think? What do you think? I just.
So first hit. Oh, well, since I already had it, we'll call that my dread ambusher attack.
Okay.
And so
27 does hit, by the way.
Okay. So 14 on that hit.
14 does not hit.
Second attack, 19.
19 does hit.
And I'm going to. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to. I'm fine. I'm done.
All right. And since I've got two of you in this area now, I should probably read the description. This is a mud-covered courtyard, which contains the tents that the Chimera crew are staying in. Let's see. Any particularly interesting information? It's a little muddy in there, but not to the point that it's difficult terrain or anything. But that may come into play later.
Okay.
Parapet staying 3 foot high, run along the outside of the keep's wall. Okay, and yep, All right. So that's everything. I'm not missing any info that I should be giving you guys. And that's the end of your turn, Jen? I'm going to take that as a yes. I think you
Yes.
stepped away. Okay.
Oh,
Azure.
sorry, yes.
Okay, first off, second wind is a bonus action. 1d10 plus my fighter level. Hit points back.
All right.
Where'd you take damage from?
Fire.
The breath
Resistance,
fire.
not immunity.
Oh, right.
As an action, I will do my Radiant Soul. Sprout my wings and all that fun stuff.
All right.
Then Action Surge. Another action. And Booming Blade.
All right. 29 does hit.
And go ahead and spike
know
it with
about
my
that?
Radiant Soul damage. So that will be 26 damage.
All right. The Chimera, with one of its heads especially looking groggy, the goat head, anyways. I like the art on this thing, too.
Ass breath. I say right before I fucking Booming Blade him. That is
The
kind of badass
goat-
art.
Right as you booming blade him, the goat one screams. You know how the goat screams? Yeah.
Sweet.
And, all right. Yeah, that's what the other heads sound like.
The lion sounds like a dog?
Yes.
I'd knock the damn thing
God.
stupid.
Yeah. All right. This scout is very surprised to see the invading forces from the hole in the wall. So it's going to attack with her longbow at Hammerbell. Does a 16 hit you?
Yes.
All right, then you take a total of 12 piercing halved, so 6. 6 piercing damage from the scout. And the scout is going to kind of come over here, actually cut down to the corner here. All right. Next up is the veteran. The veteran is going to rush over to where Jin is and try to attack her. So here we go with the long sword, the short sword, then the long sword again.
Yep.
Does eight?
Nope,
Does
yep.
eight? Okay, so here's the 18. There is the 23. So you take a total of 16 slashing damage.
Okay.
This scout is going to come over here and fire at Azure. Plink, plink. The scout is going to do the same. Plink, plink. Fairvex.
Okay. I'm going to use my bonus action to hex the Chimera.
Okay.
And
Consider
follow
it
up with a pair of Eldritch Blasts.
Okay. Do you move a little to where, because right now it looks like the Chimera is partially.
Yeah, I'll fly over this way enough to get clearer line of sight. And
Okay.
actually I'll go up a little bit so that I can
That's a good idea.
clear the wall more easily later.
All right, give me those Eldritch Blasts. All right, that is a hit. And throw the second one as well.
Okay.
That
Wow.
misses.
All right, so what's our total damage here?
It's going to be 25.
All right. Ash Breath kind of, roars, like a lion, barks like a dog, and then you hear that goat scream as well. And let's see here. We got to resolve something over here. I apologize for the behind the scenes stuff here.
You're fine.
All right. Next up, this veteran. This veteran is already right beside Jin and is upset that Jin already punched him in the face. So he is going to make 2 longsword attacks. He does not have the longsword short sword combo. He just has the longsword that he wields with both hands.
Oh, to D10.
Cha.
Miss.
Yeah, and just it's very unwieldy. Jin just kind of easily leans forward for one swipe and then leans back for the other one. This veteran is going to fire his heavy crossbow at Hammerbell and shoots. If this were a human, it would have hit. Hammerbell, you almost feel the arrow's wind just straight down the center of your head as it flies over you. The scout. A lot of these damn scouts. The scout is going to rush Hammerbell and make 2 short sword attacks. Ouch. Hammerbell, that 14 doesn't hit you, does it?
Nope.
All right, so that 14 comes in first, we'll say, and you just easily deflect it with your hammer axe, and you kind of underestimated how weak this scout is, and so when you deflect that blow, the scout actually almost gets fully turned around, and you realize you have an opportunity. You can use your reaction right now to make an attack of opportunity on this scout.
Awesome.
That's a hit. And you deflect it with the axe, and then you bring the hammer in, and it just crunches in on the spine. That scout is dead. The scout plink plink on the cleric. The scout, seeing what you just did to her friend, is going to step next to her friend, her other friend, her surviving friend, and fire longbow shots at Hammerbell. 16 and 22.
Hits both time.
Boom, boom. So another 6 damage for you.
Okay.
But now it's your turn.
I will grow reckless. Mark her reckless.
Reckless.
Okay. Oh, and let me see. Advantage. 1, 2, 3.
Oof.
The guy who just hit her with a multiple sword.
Yeah.
All hits.
Yeah, go ahead and hits all around. Roll damage.
Jeez.
And I think I get 1d12.
Yeah, you do. You get an additional D12.
Yeah. It's an 8.
All right, so that's 19 plus 26, which is what, 30, 45, plus 8, which is 53, plus another 8, which is 61. Yeah. You remember in the Avengers where the Hulk just like grabs Loki and just beats the ever loving piss on him on the ground?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of that is what happens. You knock this guy over into the ground with your first swing, and then you just keep hammering him, and then eventually you give him that elbow drop with the spikes, and blood sprays everywhere, and yeah. So what would you like to do now? Do you have any movement or anything?
Yeah, oh, definitely. She hasn't moved. So.
This would be a good time for an intimidation check. I'm just saying.
Her.
Puny bandit.
All right, so you move down this way. Anything else?
I think she got all the stuff, though. That's it.
All right. Webley, you're up.
Yeah, okay. So this is a bandit standing right about there, right?
No, this is the pit trap.
That is the pit trap.
Yeah.
Okay, I am on solid ground pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so that's kind of a 7-foot leap, I'm thinking, to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to spend some movement and try that, if you don't mind.
All right. Anyone remember the rules on jumping?
If it's standing, he can jump up to his strength. If he gets 10 feet of running, he can double it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and just jump right over.
Okay, great. That's all I'm seeing right there? This sounded so much worse. Holy shit. Okay. 1, 2, 3,
2
4,
already dead.
6. Yeah, whatever. I kind of feel like I should go help.
Azure.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I am going to circle around. You guys got these guys, right?
You could open the door.
Sure.
When there are like a couple of them on top of the rampart, so.
Yeah, am I seeing a couple up here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna see if I can get an angle against the wall where well, I don't know if I can figure out a way to get some cover and still get a shot off. But
maybe if you shoot and then run.
Yeah,
Shoot
that's
from here, finish your movement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're a little close to the wall to have any sort of line of sight to her.
Okay. Is that about where she is? She's not actually.
Yeah, it's over here.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna double Eldritch her. Maybe 15.
That's a hit.
Excellent.
And you're kind of Michael Jordan dunking these Eldritch blasts. You know, you're just kind of jumping up and.
Kaboom! Is that 21 hit too?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 16 there, and then I'm gonna.
So you jump just to see if you actually hit her, but you don't see her. Azure, you see this scout fall forward off, it land in the water, and just sort of start flowing with the river. But Webley, you're not 100% sure whether or not your target just took cover or if you actually got her.
Right. Well, regardless, I'm going to tuck up against the wall and see if I can break like a line of sight there.
Okay.
That she would have.
All right.
And that's me.
Ash Breath is coming back in with on the cleric with the bite, the horn, and the claws. 1 second, guys. All right, so 2 of those hit, right?
Ashbret doesn't have his breath again.
No. It takes a while for it to recharge.
5 or 6, I think.
Azure?
Sorry about that. I was muted. Nope. As a reaction, I popped the shield spell. AC is now 29.
I that's why I wanted to give you the moment. I figured that's what you would do.
Sorry, I
All
didn't
right,
know.
so
My kids were running around and yelling, so I had to mute my microphone.
so the just when it seems like the shield won't be enough for the dragon head coming in for the bite, the shield almost seems to get magically bigger as the symbol of Moradin also grows and prevents any damage being taken. And so the
Right.
chimera is really frustrated. Jin, what do you do?
Okay, I'm going to hit the guy directly next to Hammerbell, or at least swing at him. Did I hit?
This veteran right here, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes, that does hit him.
All right, I will swing at the guy directly south of me. Does that hit?
That does not.
I will. There's a bonus. Oops, sorry. First one, bonus attack on him. 14. No,
First one or the second one?
14. To the south.
Oh, to the south. 14 and 12 do not hit.
The 12 doesn't. That was an extra roll.
Oh,
It doesn't
right.
count. Okay, that's okay. Regardless, I swung at all of them, so I'm moving 10, 15. Right, I'm moving over to these guys. What I got?
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, why would you switch targets like that? And then I was like, oh, right.
Well, Hammerbell's on those, and I don't have that high of AC, so
Yeah,
I really
I
don't
got
get
you.
hit three times by those guys. So yeah, I'm done.
All right, Azure, what do you do?
Booming Blade. And once again, I'm going to spike it with my Radiant Soul, so an extra 10 damage. So 30.
That does hit. Oof. Yeah, 30. The goat head is completely limp now, and no longer screaming.
Good. I kind of want to try to
And
take out the dragon head next,
yeah,
if possible.
the other heads don't look far behind.
And once again, I just kind of yell, "You gonna surrender?"
And the scouts say, "Never give up, never surrender."
Sequel's
So,
coming.
and that's what they gotta yell. So that's your choice for last words? Okay.
All right, this scout, seeing Jin run up with such speed and vigor, is going to drop her bow, pull out her short sword. Yeah.
First one hit.
And you take 3 piercing damage. Beware the danger of the Chimera crew.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I was disappointed that one of them wouldn't shoot me with a freaking bow, but
This veteran moves to the side of Hammerbell and is going to. This guy, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, this guy was the 2-handed longsword. Yeah.
22 hits.
So he hits with the second one. You take 4 slashing damage.
I think I'm not trying to, but I think Hammerbell's reckless.
Yeah, he has advantage.
Oh, all right. So those are the first two rolls. So we'll say that's the first hit. And now we'll give him advantage for the second hit.
16 hits. Whew.
So another 6.
Okay.
All right, this scout here is not going to shoot the cleric anymore. I think she realizes the futility in that. Is going to run down the wall here. Instead, shoot at Jin.
Yay!
Deflect.
She lines up one arrow, and she seems to have another one in her hand. So as soon as she fires, she can flip it around and fire again.
Unfortunately, neither of those hit me.
No?
Damn it. No.
Fairvex.
Just muted.
Perfect.
Sorry, was muted. I am going to fly up this way so that I could basically still have a line of sight to the Chimera, but I get up closer to the over the wall. Actually, no, I don't think I can actually do that yet. Is there anybody still up on this wall, or did Webley take them out already?
Nick, what did you
So
Because
you
the line
don't
of
see
sight-
any. You don't
the
see
line of
anybody
sight
right
isn't showing
here.
me anybody.
Let's see here. So I'm gonna take off the dynamic lighting for this part of the wall.
Okay.
So yeah, this part of the wall is clear. You see
Okay.
this kind of gatehouse type situation here, and then you see that wall. I'm actually gonna get
Okay.
rid of that. No, not that big. There we go.
Cool. Okay, so I'll basically get up to about here to around here on the wall, and then continue to throw Eldritch blasts at the Chimera.
All right. You perch up there and you fire away, and that's a hit, and both of those are hits. Total damage.
Just a moment. Gotta roll the hexes. Okay, so 18 total.
18 damage. The dragon head lays limp and for a second before puking up some blood. The lion head in the middle is looking around a little dazed. So
Ooh.
you guys haven't noticed this guy who's been stealthing around a little bit. He comes over here, opens this door, which for some reason, per the map, was already open, but whatever. And runs back over to these stairs here.
You're not alone, guys.
And all right, so now we need to sort by descending and go back to that guy. Okay. And these zombies are in here and they're starting to You hear all these zombies behind the wall here, and they're starting to stir. Veteran is going to fire his heavy crossbow at Jin. Step out here.
Sweet. That hit. What's the damage? Okay, yeah, I can do that.
This is the first time you get to do this?
Okay. I don't know. It's maybe the first or second. So there's a reaction. Damage is 0. You can catch the missile. Blah, blah. Key point. Sure, just because it's cool. And there's should be proficiency with that. So 16 to hit him.
That misses.
Damn it. Anyway, it looked cool to catch it and throw it back at him.
Yeah, you catch it, you throw it back, and it actually lands. He puts the crossbow, he puts that heavy crossbow like in the way, very surprised that you've thrown it back at him. And the arrow lands in the bottom of the crossbow. He just barely caught it with that crossbow, and he looks down at it, and he's like, "Hi." He's kind of upset with you,
Cool.
but also a little scared.
Not worth the key if I don't hit him. That's a
Okay, zombies are stirring. This scout is going to look over at Fairfax and fire. Does the first one hit?
Yes, it does.
All right. So for the first arrow, you take 5 piercing damage. And from the second one, she's just up there like, yeah, and pulls it back too far, and the string breaks on her longbow. And it's just like, it goes from that like, yeah, I gotcha, here we come again, no, and starts to make her way across the path here. This one let's see, what is their speed? 30. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This ogre zombie comes bounding out of the room, just barely enough to fit through the door. And Hammerbell, you are very shocked to see this big guy here. I love the art on this one too. He's already got the sword in him and everything. His intestines are hanging out. And but he doesn't attack you. He has this big old morning star. And
Well,
knocks this veteran into the tent, collapsing the tent, and he just, and the other veteran looks scared, like he's gonna start to make a run for it.
he doesn't hit you yet.
Yet.
I don't think he's a friend. I think the other guy was just closer.
The zombie comes meandering out here. This scout is going to attack Jin. Yeah.
Yep and nope.
4 piercing damage. And she's very triumphantly says, "Yeah, beware the Chimera crew." Yeah.
We are doing the world a favor by getting rid of them.
Uh,
And we have to be raising the average IQ of the world. I'm just saying.
It's like it's like the D&D version of the tunnel snakes from Fallout 3.
yeah.
No.
Hammerbell.
She'll continue to be reckless and
All right.
saying what happened. She will put the veteran between her and the zombie and continue to attack the zombie. I mean, the veteran. Whatever it is. Okay. 1, 2.
That's a hit. That's a hit, and that's a hit. So tell me total damage.
34 plus 10, 44.
46.
46.
26.
30,
All right. 46.
And I guess she'll stay where she is.
All right. Webley.
Hi. Okay. Can you give me some sort of idea when I saw this guy run? What's he look like?
Oh,
Or she?
this
or
guy.
Whatever.
Let's see here. I actually have a oh, that's just the Master Thief. It's a Master Thief, much like the one that you fought in Phandalin not too long ago. You fought her in Phandalin, and then she showed up in at the Wayside Inn when you guys fought there. So this is a half elf male,
Mm-hmm.
and
Looks sneaky.
yeah, looks very Master Thiefy.
Master Thiefy, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds like a lot of sneak attack damage to me.
Yeah, we'll see about that. All right. Okay, first things first, we're going to do the old Hex Blade Curse. We're going to move in. Hex Blade Curse on that person. Do you need to read that?
Go on.
Okay, and then we're going to let loose with 2 Eldritch Blasts as I try to approach. That probably missed.
Let's see. The second one does hit. Give me damage.
Excellent. And we're going to add 4 to this, by the way, for 11.
Okay. The blast definitely hits, and it does do some damage. But you see this this Master Thief kind of use a very unique technique for blocking parts of that damage.
Like physically block it?
Like not, physically absorb it. It's
Really?
it's like
Like he was doing an evasion or something.
yeah, or an uncanny dodge or something,
Something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not legit. I just thought it's bullshit. You didn't see the attacker's back was turned to me. But okay, that's fine. Wow, half damage it takes from me.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this isn't like as a reaction you can. It's
Yeah, I was
like
just
nope.
thinking that.
You And I think it's mainly because thieves don't have a lot of like AC bonus kind of things.
Well,
Nor do they.
it's a reaction to half the damage on uncanny dodge. So you can only do it once per round.
Oh, it is a reaction. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. What's
He
Asper's
reacts. He reacts. All right, and Ash Breath, sir, is going to attempt to fly away.
Okay. That's 2d8 damage.
Oh,
And
good point.
Booming
you hear
blade.
one final goat scream. It did not have enough hit points to even justify rolling. Yeah, the effects of booming blade happen, and it tries to fly away, but just ends up falling and just landing in front of the gate here. Jin.
Okay, I'll back the guy directly south of me.
That's a hit.
And I will. Yeah, I'll hit him again. Still standing?
Just barely.
I will hit him again, hopefully.
Yep.
And I will move a little closer to that guy. Cool. That's what I got.
Azure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fly up. I assume I have to actually fly up as my first action. So how? It's like 30 feet up, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
And I will go ahead and use a dash action. Get down here. And just kind of land in
Okay.
front of them and look at them.
This scout says, "Yeah, that's the one. Just keep running."
Fuck
This
it.
poor scout here is going to swipe at Jin.
This one hits.
6 piercing.
Doke.
And she almost, you can see it. You've been in a lot of fist fights, a lot of close combat, encounters, and you could see that she almost considered running, and then stopped, and then started again, and goes ahead and does it. Just runs over here to go to this door, and you do, of course, get your attack of opportunity.
$16. And I'll let her. I won't try to stun her. I'll let her go.
Okay.
But eight points of damage.
Now, this door that she goes to grab, she immediately is like, shit, because it's chained shut from the outside. And she is going to try the athletics check. Is not able to break the chains. And then she just keeps running this way. Towards the stairs. All right. This ogre zombie runs here. Veteran. Seeing the ogre zombie nearby is going to try and run. Hammerbell, you get an attack of opportunity if you would like.
Sure.
So does the ogre zombie.
He does. Yep, go ahead and roll damage.
11.
Yep, and the ogre zombie. Oh, there's his character sheet. He also gets an attack of opportunity. Yeah, between the two of you hitting him, he really didn't have a shot. The zombie comes running out here. This scout runs over to here, turns around, and fires at Azure.
Oh, look at that.
You know, I'm going to let him have it. He deserves it.
He deserves it.
You take 12 piercing damage. Take that, cleric, with 72 hit points. Okay.
So the
Is that
zombies
not-
are attacking us.
Yes.
Okay.
Fairfax.
All right. For some reason, I still can't see who's up on the walls from where I'm at.
I can't see down, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta do something here. There's
Could take off this wall if they're
yeah,
two of
this
them.
it looks like this whole thing one big dynamic lighting here.
Yeah.
There we
Alright,
go.
I
That's
can
a
take
lot
Oh,
that.
there
better.
you go.
Still didn't clear for me. Looks like the walls of the gatehouse are blocking.
Yeah.
Oh,
for me.
right. Yeah. All right. So there is a second level map for this, but it's kind of useless unless you guys are going to go up into the towers. So yeah, I'll remove that.
Ah, there we go. Much better. Okay. So is there a roof on the gatehouse, or
There
is
is.
it just an open area? Okay.
There is.
So I would be heading this direction. Looks like Azure has that one
I was
and
actually
that
ready to leave
one
that one, but
in
sure.
his sights. What's that?
Nothing. You got this.
Okay. All right. Seeing the big zombie ogre, let's light him up. This guy. Soften him up for Hammerbell and Jin.
All right. What do you got there?
Bonus action to transfer the hex, and then Eldritch Blasts.
Okay.
That's not a good run.
That's a hit.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, these ogre zombies are not hard to hit at all.
Okay, so that's going to be 33. Oh wait, no, sorry, misread. That was the hit roll, not the damage roll. 26.
26.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I got right now.
This veteran here is going to, he looks around trying to get away from the zombies, sees Jin, and is going to run over there and try to attack Jin. long sword, short sword, long sword.
Yes, yes, no. All right.
Now this guy, he going to he's gonna run into this tower here.
Great. As long as he's not shooting arrows in our back.
Now let's resolve all these zombies. This zombie moves forward. This zombie moves forward. This zombie moves forward and attacks Webley. Misses. This veteran is going to fire at Jin with his heavy crossbow.
No. Damn it.
This zombie moves forward.
How do you spell it?
This scout is going to run away.
Is it a disengage
Azure?
action?
Oh,
No.
Okay. Attack of op?
Yep, if you'd like to.
Yes, please. Booming blade.
His booming blade.
Warcaster. Cantrip.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll damage.
when you think about
17. Go ahead and spike it from my Radiant Soul.
Yeah, you knock her off into the water,
Oh, okay.
and she is dead.
that become tiny Power Ranger.
The water turns red.
Nice.
This ogre zombie tries to make it out of the door, but there's too much traffic there. This ogre zombie rushes forward and tries to attack this veteran. Misses. Zombie moves forward. This zombie moves forward and attacks. Misses. Hammerbell.
Is muted. Oh.
Those two attack? They missed.
No, your attack. You're up.
Oh, my
Yeah,
turn.
it's your turn. Sorry, I know there's a lot of bad guys here, and it's a while before it's your turn again.
Okay, I said, wait, zombies attacking me? No. Okay, uh, she noticed that the zombies were not attacking us.
No, they are
they-
attacking you.
Yeah, they have been. They're attacking Webley over here too.
Yeah, and this one's attacking you.
This one?
Yeah, this one did attack you, but it was like a super low roll. I know it missed.
Okay, I will have to fight back. She doesn't think much. She will stay reckless.
You should roll the damage on each one because you probably will kill this guy
Yeah, I will
quicker.
try it. 1 hit,
Yep.
11.
All right.
Still up.
Yep.
Smash. 19.
Ouch. Yeah, he's done for.
Okay, I will.
This guy's is attacking the veteran right now. You might want to leave him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, she will chase after this one. Slam into it with my spike.
That's a miss.
Okay, she's done.
Webley.
Hi. Hey, got a question for you real quick.
What's up?
You don't by chance have shapes for like spell effects, do you?
For shapes for spell effects? Spell
Yeah,
effects? I do. I do.
I need a 60-foot. I need a 60-foot cone.
A 60-foot cone. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see here.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
60-foot cone.
60.
Oh, you know what? I don't have a cone.
Okay. Well,
Two stick and a bunch of pepperoni.
it's
I had a
60
cheese
foot
stick.
long and 30 feet wide at the longest end. Basically, what I want to
Oh,
do.
30 feet. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I'm gonna take attack of opportunity there. As many of these. Yeah, you can't see that. Why don't they have a?
You
I think I
basically
could
wanna get-
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to catch as much of these guys, but definitely including. I'm going to shoot it this way.
All right.
Yep.
And what is this that you're doing?
I was
Probably
thinking
everybody.
Cone of Cold.
Okay. Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
60-foot cone. Jesus.
Yeah.
So if you were to stand here, for example,
Right.
that would be your 60 feet.
Yeah.
Would it cone to here and to here?
No, it would be.
Or you're just trying to get these guys?
Yeah. And if I happen to hit Belle, she can take the damage. So.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna say that you could definitely, if you were to step here and you were to aim like this, that you catch these guys.
Okay.
All of this.
Okay. That would be great.
But okay, but not this ogre.
No, didn't.
Right.
No, I didn't think. Didn't even.
All right. So that is a what saving throw?
That is a con save, and I will roll the damage because it's halvesies. So it's slash R like 8d6, right? Or 8d8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, that was terrible. That's less than half.
Well, yeah, less than half, but not by much.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to move these guys up here just so I can catch them all in my calculation. All right. Just them. Group check. It is a Dex save.
Con
DC.
save.
Oh, it's a con save.
Yeah.
It is a con save. DC what now?
17. Yeah.
17. The damage is 29. Damage on save is half, correct?
Correct. You screw an ogre zombie. God bless it.
All right, so this guy goes back here. These zombies are done for. And yeah, there you go. So this cone of cold just blasts across and gets all these guys, and they start shivering, and there's a little bit of frost on them. You've definitely done some damage.
Does Belle need to roll?
No. He angled it right to where you, this veteran, and Jen were not a part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it was totally intentional to miss you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Webley?
No, I probably still have a little bit of movement going on here. Yeah, I'm actually going to approach them, but I obviously have no attacks. So
Okay. The Chimera is dead. Jin.
All right, here's the veteran that's next to me. Sweet.
All right. The veteran, you definitely miss. Go ahead and give me a
Yeah.
D4.
D4.
Now, was this a punch or a kick that you were doing here?
A punch on that one.
Yeah, we'll say you went for a punch, and you hit just straight armor. Not only did you not hit him in the correct place, but you hit just straight armor, and so your hand. I mean, you take 1d4. You take that 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and your hand feels like it's got some sort of injury, like a sprain or something like that. So you're gonna have to stick with either punching with the other hand or kicks.
Punch or kicks.
if you had a crutch.
I know. How about that for a kick?
All right, so you come in with the kick.
And a punch with the other hand. Cool. So 15 damage. Yay! She will move behind Belle. As I'm not feeling great. Yeah, I'll move to there. There we go.
Yeah. Because Jin's not wearing armor, you can tell probably the easiest with her just how much life is sucking right now. And Azure.
I will do a dash and land right here. Then as a bonus action, I will throw a Curing Word level 2 towards Jin. Healing Word, sorry.
I was like, man, he makes Cure Wounds and Healing Word.
So 7 towards Jin.
Thanks.
See, I can heal.
Yep.
This ogre comes running out and is going to attack with his Morning Star, the cleric. And very little ease, or a lot of ease, very little effort is necessary for Jin to raise the shield and block the giant Morning Star.
But a shield would be a crutch to Jin. That's why she needs heals right now, remember?
Yeah.
Oh no, Webley, you've been attacked by a zombie.
Oh no.
19 hits you?
No, it does not.
It doesn't?
No, it does not.
Damn it.
Sorry.
I mean, go Webley.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
All right, so this scout is going to fire at Fairfax. Are you still flying?
That scout is the one I think who does no longer have a bow. Wasn't the one? That's the one that snapped
yes,
there.
You are correct. No, that was the other one. That was the other one. The one that Azure knocked into the water.
Okay.
This one is going to fire at Fairfax.
Damn it.
If I could find which of the 5 character sheets I have open. Does either one of those hit you, Fairfax?
Fairfax is muted.
Not with shield.
Very well. So you cast shield, and these arrows seem to magically divert around your form. And now it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I already got my hex on the one ogre, so I will. If I drop down a little bit, would I get out of her line of fire? Like, say, fly
Not-
over to here and drop down about 10 feet?
Yeah, she would have to move in order to fire at you again.
Okay. And as long as that still leaves me with a line of sight to this guy, that's what I'm going to do.
Alrighty. Then fire away. Fire at will. Fire away. Whichever one.
Oh, I am going to re-roll that fail. Burn a point, sorcery point, and use my seeking spell.
Okay. So how much
Sorry,
damage?
two sorcery points for that. So let me re-roll that.
Yep.
Much better.
Yeah, both of those hit. Give me total damage.
Very nice. 19. Or sorry, 29.
29. You blast this thing, and more of its guts fall out, and just, I mean, it's all bloated and everything. It's starting to really look a little haggard. This guy is going to come back out, and oh, well, the zombie's not an ally, so he doesn't get sneak attack. And he misses with his stupid light crossbow. Oh, he actually gets 3 of those.
Who is he shooting at?
You, and they all miss.
Yes, they do.
With
And he
the
runs back in.
with the crossbow, with the loading property.
I don't think Light's got the loading property, but I don't know. Let him have his free. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, light doesn't have loading, I think.
My bad. I could have swore all of them did.
Well, they
even
could have
the-
crossbow expert.
True.
Yeah, crossbow expert.
Yeah, that's it.
Or the character sheet just may say he gets 3 attacks
Right.
and
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
reason. Yeah.
Oh yeah, light crossbow does have loading. I think it's hand crossbow that doesn't.
I think even the hand does. You have to have a free hand still. Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it says.
Oh yeah,
Is
you're
that the
right.
extra D10 or the extra
multi-attack.
10 damage from? I'm curious.
Yeah, we're gonna go with crossbow expert because I actually do really like that feat. I plan on using it on my next character, anyways. All right. So he dives back in. This zombie meanders out. The last veteran is going to keep running away from the ogre zombie, who will get a strike. Damn. And after he sees you 3, and he sees the ogres, and he's gonna try to run. He's gonna just dash up the stairs. This zombie makes it out. The ogre zombie shoves things out of its way until it can get up here to Webley. Try to hit him. Miss. This ogre zombie is going to attack Rain, or Azure, rather. And miss. And this zombie is going to attack and miss. All right, Het Rebel.
Well, can she make that movement? I should have. Yeah, she could. She goes after the big ogre zombie here. And whack.
All right, give me damage for that one.
20.
He gone.
This one then.
That's a hit.
12.
All right.
Spike. Another 8.
Hey.
She will. She moved 20, right? So
Yeah.
she has another. Get close to the big one. There you go. Done.
Webley.
Hi. Shit. How narrow are these stairs?
They're
And
5 feet wide.
So the ogres could probably get up them.
Probably.
Yeah. Shite. All right. And I am completely freaking surrounded. Okay, we're gonna try and whittle these guys down a little bit. We're gonna go with a rapiers on that guy.
Okay. That's a hit.
No shit. Okay. Really? Okay. That means that one is 2.
Yeah, this guy.
Okay, and he's down 2. Or is he?
Well, they were already damaged by your cone of cold.
Yeah.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought everybody that got hit. I thought. All right, crap.
Yeah, they were the 2 that saved. Otherwise, they would have totally been annihilated by it.
Okay. Can't probably turn a zombie into a specter, can I?
Nope.
Okay, back against a wall. 1 zombie there. I'm not gonna move, and I don't have a bonus action worth taking, so I'm gonna stay right where I am and just defend against that guy as best I can.
Okay. Jin.
Yeah, I can make it up to that dude. Chase him up the stairs and whack him. Or not. Is that my other hand?
Well, you run up there, try to get him, and it almost seems he just catches you off surprise or off guard. He actually boots you down the stairs.
Great.
Right as you're throwing a strike, he just, this is Sparta, and he kicks you down the stairs. And go ahead and give me another D4. So while you're pretty resilient to fall damage, you do take 2 bludgeoning damage from the heavy veteran boot.
Okay.
And
that's all.
and
I
you're
got.
prone.
All right, I stand up.
Azure.
I think I'm going to keep it simple and just go ahead and do another Booming Blade.
Ooh.
That's
I want to see the
enough.
damage.
Wow.
I want to see damage on this.
And spiking it once again.
Plus
Does the
another
radiant
20.
damage double also?
Yeah, everything doubles.
So, yeah.
Yep.
35, 45 total.
45 total damage?
43, I think.
Oh, right. Because you normally get 10 radiant, and this time you're getting 20.
Yep.
So 20 plus 10 is 30, plus 13 is 43. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You definitely do some good damage to him. He is. You actually crack open his knee, and he goes down to 1 knee, and he obviously doesn't feel pain because it's a zombie, but it's significant combat-wise. Anything else?
That would be it.
So now it's his turn, and he is going to get disadvantage since he has such mobility problems now. Oh no. He just spins too hard, tries too hard to swing around and hit you, and when he hits that shield, his mace cracks, and he just tries to still go and stab you with the rest of the mace, the Morning Star, I mean. And Bell, you're right there, and you take the opportunity and give me a hammer strike. And damage?
10.
We're going to double that. So you're able to just crack him on the back of the head. And you can see that his neck is just kind of like floppy a little bit now. His head's just kind of flopping there. And he is not looking good at all.
Cool.
This last ogre zombie makes it out. And he is going to attack Hammerbell.
Advantage. Hit.
All right. I rolled him with disadvantage, but
Well, either way, it hit.
yeah. Come on, damage. All right. You take 5 bludgeoning.
Barely a scratch.
This scout is going to move over here, try to shoot Jin.
Got shots at Jin.
No.
And it's going to move back. Fairfax.
Okay. The ogre that I had hexed died, I see. So
Yep.
new target. Let's get this one that's starting to join the fray. Hex him and blast him.
All right. Give me those blasts.
Sure.
Those are 2 hits. 10. It's 19. It's 29. All right. This guy. I'm actually just going to remove him from the turn order. This zombie goes. Attacks Hammerbell. You take 3 bludgeoning damage, Hammerbell.
Yeah.
This veteran, thinking he has the upper hand, is going to stand his ground.
Kick his ass, Jin.
He's gonna take the dodge action. Ogre zombie attacking Webley.
Yeah, oh, shite. Hey, you know what?
Luck.
You know what? Let's spend a luck point on. Let's spend a luck point on that.
Really?
Yeah, sorry.
You're not going to be a man like Azure and just take that hit.
I don't have. No, I'm gonna be a wise man and get out of the way.
All right. So right as it seems like the and anybody who notices Webley here, right as it seems like the ogre is just gonna get this point blank squared, just hit right in his freaking face, and everyone kind of looks with a little bit of concern There's like this glitch in the Matrix that happens where all of a sudden now the mace is a foot to the right and smashing the ground.
Right.
Deja vu, right?
Yeah.
It just goes.
I'm gonna take
And
a little bow there, like I actually had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Hammer Bell.
Bell will take the one right here. Let's
All right.
Hex.
Roll damage.
Come on. There you go.
All right. Next hit.
Hammer. 16.
That's a hit.
Another 8.
Look at you.
She swings at this one. With,
All right.
spike it.
Yeah, spikies. Yeah. That's a hit.
11.
11.
Stay where she is.
Webley.
She's still reckless.
Okay. Webley's gonna. I've got nothing better to do than a double rapier against the ogre in front of me. So, is that 27 hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing's AC is less than 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't get a sneak attack on a on undead. I don't think. But there's 8.
All right. That's also
And
a
there's
hit.
another 8. Hit.
Yeah. 2 hits, 2 solid hits. Jin.
All right, I'll run back up the stairs to this guy. It's dodging, right?
Yep, so disadvantage.
Oh.
Sweet. Do I fall back down the stairs?
You go to attack, and he actually grabs, you go for this kick, and he actually grabs you by the foot and throws you off into this tent. And roll another d4. You take that much bludgeoning damage.
So
From
far,
landing.
let's see, I've done 6. I've done certainly 8 points to myself.
Oh,
And
Jen's just having an off day.
yeah. Self-harm.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Jin, this is also in broad daylight.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, Jin ducks. If there's any cover left of this tent, she ducks inside the tent.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Azure.
I'm gonna go save Webley. Living Blade
Webley's doing
on
fine.
that one.
That's a miss. All right, so it's 20 damage.
Spike it.
Alrighty. This ogre zombie. Attack Hammerbell.
Advantage.
Take another 3 bludgeoning. Eventually, they're going to whittle you down to nothing, Hammerbell. Just you wait for another hour and a half. Just you wait. There.
See?
Hammerbell's been soaking a lot of damage.
Yep.
The scout cannot see Jin, so she will step. She'll actually. She's gonna run. She's gonna jump off the wall here, cross the river, and get the hell out of there. Fairfax.
Fairfax is muted.
Yep, sorry. So the one that was still up on the wall sort of just ran away.
Yes.
We can track her down later. Let's take down the more serious threat, the zombie ogre.
Which one?
The one that I was shooting at earlier and have hexed.
Oh, this one right here. All right. That is a total of 18 plus 11 is 29 damage. Zombie. Attack. Rebel.
Oh, actually,
Yes.
sorry. Since I still have a bonus action, how badly hurt are the basically any of the party members that I can see?
Well, you can't see Jin right now.
Define priority.
You can't see Jin right now. Hammerbell looks, Hammerbell looks. It's not the worst you've ever seen her for sure. I mean, she's taken some hits and she's covered in some zombie guts. She definitely looks like she's taken some damage, but it's not crazy. Azure, same thing. Webley looks just fine. He's clean. He's clean.
Okay. All right. In which case, I'll save my healing light for later.
Okay. Oh, I already did that. Yeah, zombie missed.
Missed, yeah.
This veteran is going to jump off the wall
Oh,
and run away. Writing is on the wall for these guys. This
It's written in blood.
No.
yeah, but they live to, breathe another day.
With what? Ass face?
Ogre
Or sorry,
zombie.
ass breath?
Oh, I didn't mean to roll with advantage, but does a 25 hit you, Webley?
25 does hit me. Yes.
Then you take
You take
6 bludgeoning damage.
I will take that.
Bell.
All right.
Bell will swing at the big guy.
All right. That's a hit. Give me damage.
9.
All right. 9. All right.
Bash. 15.
15 hits.
12.
So 9 plus 12 is 21. He's still up.
Alright, Spike. Oof. That will be 11.
He is not up.
She stays.
Okay. Bell would be
Alright.
good at 21. She knows when to hit and when to stay.
Yeah. Knows when to fold them. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, fold them in half.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're gonna rapier this guy one more time.
No chance for Spike.
Oh, that's
turn
gonna
today.
hit, and that'll hit too. All right.
All right, so,
24.
he's definitely looking rough. He's close to death here. I mean,
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Any bonus actions?
No, nothing really. I
All right.
think I should have
I'm
taken
just
a second
casting.
level.
I'm just
Ooh.
casting Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. And you're staying inside the tent?
Yep.
Azure.
Booming Blade. Can you say he's dead?
On this,
Right.
was that on the
that's
smaller zombie or the ogre zombie?
The ogre.
Okay. How do you want to do this?
I just
How do I
want
want to do this?
to raise the hammer up, bring it down the back of his head, decapitating him, and just put a leg on, like one of Captain Morgan poses on him. and just kind of nod to Webley.
Oh, right, because after you smash him, he's prone. And you just kind of throw that leg up there and just look at Webley and
Yeah, it's like, what's up?
Okay, while he does that, that zombie behind him gets a backstab.
Go ahead, roll it.
Crit. Screw the dice. Crit.
Feel free to use a luck point on that. I mean,
What you guys rely too much on dice. It's all about good storytelling. Hey, guys, the thief is gone, and probably is gone.
yeah. And I'm going to assume that between all of you, you're able to take out this zombie. I'm not going to waste any more time on this.
Yeah.
Everybody ran away, huh?
Yep, that is combat.
Woohoo.
All right. So this is a tower. Something you notice about all those zombies is that they had a bunch of pigeon poop or bird poop on them, specifically around the head. Now, looking into this room here, you see that this is the main tower in the keep, and it stands 80 foot tall. It reeks. It absolutely reeks of rot and animal waste. Yeah, the undead were in here. And
did the undead have that symbol on their forehead?
No. Oh, yes, they did.
Okay,
They did have the Cult of Mirkul symbol on their foreheads. Not all of them. Some of them, and you notice that it's the ones that looked fresher, did not yet have the symbol.
I didn't see a single person here with any necromantic spells.
Right.
So what are we missing?
Hit points.
Yeah, about 50.
50? That means you just tank like over 100 damage. You have resistance on everything. That's impressive.
So in here you see a set of stairs that go south or go down, and that's been completely collapsed in. There's moss and fungus on it. It looks like it's been collapsed in for a very long time, at least 2 decades. And the floor is broken. The ceiling is broken, and that's where all the birds are hanging out. All these swarms of ravens up in the top of this tower, and they were pooping on the zombies. So as best as you can tell, sometimes zombies would escape, and they would probably exit out this area, go north, and end up near the lizard folk tribe. And so the Chimera crew were sometimes finding them before they found their own death again, and turning them around. And so that's why you saw some of the tracks turning around, along with some other tracks.
Well, we need to check out the other towers. I'm burning my other 2 spells as far as cure wounds go.
Don't we have some healing light and stuff like that? Or are you good? Or
Yeah, I can rather than burning your daily spells, I'll burn a couple level 3 that I can recover for you.
Okay. I mean, I'm down to 16 right now, or 18. So. Thank you.
Huh. Why can't I?
see, that's why I don't heal. I'm not nearly that fucking good.
All right, so while you guys are doing that, I'm going to figure something out real quick.
So any good food?
Well, we can go get Slosh. He has an all-you-can-eat buffet right here.
Well, let's
Okay,
search these
tents and stuff.
brigands
Mhm.
and see, how successful were they?
Yeah.
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 More.
Oh.
I'm gonna take a longbow, by the way.
Good plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can add a longbow to your inventory. There's a couple of them laying around.
Find the best
And
looking one.
also, any little trinkets that Belle could keep as for her collection.
One of the zombie ogres had a particularly interesting necklace, and you noticed it as it was attacking you. And it was the canine teeth of other ogres.
Oh.
Nice.
And so in killing the zombie ogre, you had access to remove the necklace of ogre teeth.
Cool.
Wow. Nicely done.
All right, let's see what else is here. In the North Guard Tower, first floor, there is a locked box. That
Sure,
you look around and there's no key to.
How big of a box are we talking?
It is a It is a locked steel box. I would say it's like a safe, like you would find in a hotel. It's not very big.
So we can throw in a bag of holding and get back to town and see if we can get a locksmith.
Hey.
We have a locksmith right here.
We have a warlock, remember? He was very adamant that he's not a rogue. Or he's not a thief.
Right.
His tool is a warlock tool, not a thief tool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. These tools proficient. I don't know why it's not figuring it. Input value is dex. Oh, there we go. 13.
Yeah.
13. You are not able to.
Yeah,
get
I'm a
this-
warlock, guys.
Yeah,
I tried,
you were
but-
adamant you weren't a thief, you're a warlock.
I'm not a warlock. I'm just a guy with a sword. I don't know.
No, I got a big axe.
All right, can we pop it in the bag of holding?
Yeah, go with it.
Well, Hammerbell, you want to try and beat it
Axe it
open?
You
Hammer
sure
it.
you want to do that?
I'll use the wand to detect magic real quick. Is the chest magical or worded or anything of that sort?
It is not.
Okay.
Nor do you detect anything magical inside.
Yeah, but it could be shielded. Because depending on the material of it, it can be blocked.
Smash it open.
Smash?
I don't care.
Do you want me to look for traps? Physical traps?
Never mind.
Nah,
Yeah, what's the worst? What's the worst that could happen? But just
Hammerbell, give me an athletics check.
Yeah. We all back away, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a metal chest that's an inch thick, or a thin sheet of lead, it blocks detect magic.
Wow.
You know that. I know that. But does the GM know that?
Athletics check.
It's like
Yeah.
Gimli trying to shatter the ring here.
Athletics check.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, you gave me an athletics check.
yeah, okay.
You are not able to open this thing.
Great, in the
Also,
bag.
must be a warlock. Yeah.
All right, so you throw it in the bag of holding, and you'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Sounds like
All right. let me
Anything else
mark
of
that
interest?
down. Let's writing down that you guys have it in the bag of holding, so I don't forget.
We probably need to write that down too.
Yeah, I'm writing down.
You got it already? Or loot?
Blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Nope. It seems like everything of use was there in that chest, or maybe with the thief that got away.
Mm.
Yeah,
Who let him get away?
I think that was you.
It was never near me.
Oh, there was at the top of here. I forgot. Second floor, just above the gate. You find 2 flasks of alchemist's fire.
Alchemist fight.
Ooh.
Let me see if there's a magic item thing for that. Nope.
I think it's just regular equipment.
Yeah, sticky edit.
It's in the party loot stash. It's in the bag.
All right. You can throw the flask up to 20 feet, shattering it on impact. Make a ranged attack against a creature or object, treating the alchemist fire as an improvised weapon. On a hit, the target takes 1d4 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The creature can end this damage by using its own action to extinguish the flames.
Cool.
So it's not a lot, but it's something.
It's still
It's handy to have under the right circumstances.
Yeah, eat their actions.
Do we need to?
Alright.
The town is going to believe us that we've cleared this out. Do we need to take back a chimera head or anything like that?
Ooh, can we mount that in a bar?
I was thinking that when it first showed up.
Well, if
You
nothing
want-
else, the chimera might be useful for parts, for enchantment purposes.
Yeah, give me an alchemist. Give me an alchemy check. Is there an alchemy check?
No, but I think there's like herbalist or herbalism.
Yeah.
Nature
You're-
medicine. Well, actually,
Well,
how far along am I on my alchemy tools proficiency?
you are close. You know what? Give me a. Do you have medicine? Do you have proficiency in medicine?
Actually, unfortunately, no, I don't.
I do if it helps.
I do have Arcana, which would probably be a very good substitute.
Yeah. All right. So you can roll Arcana, and the cleric who's helping you can roll medicine. Not that you seem to need it. Yeah, you guys are able to identify the important things about the anatomy of the chimera.
I'll put in
And-
chimera parts.
Yep, I'm writing down chimera parts. Alchemy. All right. Great. What else? There's nothing else here that's of interest for you guys.
Okay, so basically checking up, the upper floors of the tower, just in case something might be up there, that tall tower. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can fly up there
There's
and check it out.
there's nothing up there.
Okay.
That's the only place was occupied.
Cool. Well, I guess we go back and collect our 1,000 gold.
And it's end of our time, so decent place to stop, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we want to. Next session will start by returning to town. Did you guys want to go straight back to town, or did you want to stop by the lizard folk place first, or?
I always say stop by the
There's no
lizards.
real need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll stop by the lizard camp and let them know what we found. Actually, depending on the circumstance, they might want this as a
Oh,
safer environment
Ooh.
to camp out at.
if they would like to,
Yeah.
Way
turn
to go,
this
Meth.
into-
You now have a finished camp map for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
make this nice.
Yeah.
And we may want to come back, and if we get them to help with this, we might be able to find out what's actually down in that lower part of the tower.
The big cave in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be possible to get their help to help clear the stones and check out what's going on.
Okay. All right. So next session we will start with going back to the lizard folk, and then we'll go from there.
Are we going to consider going into the Ebon Death next time? Then I take it.
Let's see what we find out when we get back to town, and yeah, there's a good chance we might give that a shot.
All right. Cool.
All right. I will plan for you guys to go into the Ebon Death next time.
Okay.
All right.
All right, good game,
Thank
guys.
you.
A lot of fun. Thank you,
very
Matt.
much.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
Have a good night, guys.